I'm gonna hold up Frankenstein.
Oh, nice.
Did you say Pogo Chef?
I did,
That's old school, man.
brother.
That
Dude, I'm
is.
itchy. What the heck's going on?
There's a lot of old school stuff right back there too. It's kind of kooky.
That's sick, man.
It's ridiculous. Been
Hey.
collecting since the 70s, man.
Hey guys, we're live, by the way. Special guest
Yo.
in the house. We got Epic Eric, of course, Ryan, and we got Mr. Brent on the top right screen. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man.
So I'm at a remote location. I'm at the Gajo World Headquarters, and so we might have a little bit of lag with our live. The streaming might not be as good as if I was in studio, so bear with us, guys. I think we're going to learn a lot tonight. I don't even have my intros or outros or nothing, so this is all just going to town.
Raw, dude.
We got a bunch of eyeballs on us already. We got comments coming in. Ryan, welcome
Ryan.
back. It's been a while.
Yeah, I kind of had withdrawals, but the great news is, Travis, I got on a normal sleep pattern, so I'm cooking with gas. And I have a guide trip tomorrow morning, and then I have booked Monday through next Saturday, so I can make some money and live.
Nice, nice. So you're back working.
I'm back at work, and technically, I mean, our stay-at-home order doesn't stop until like the end of the month, but I couldn't live anymore without taking some, so I had to.
I gotcha. Well, where should we jump in? Man, so Eric, you're in the studio. I'm up here fishing, hanging out with Will and the Gajo boys. And Brent, where are you at?
I am in Vero Beach, Florida.
Oh, love it. Lovely.
Nice. Are you doing some fishing
Where the
down there?
oranges are fine. Yeah.
I lost you guys just for a second. What did you say?
No, have you gone out fishing? What's the deal? Are they biting down there?
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, we're crushing them. I guide down here on two private lakes. They're basically irrigation lakes on an orange grove.
Okay.
And we started this last spring, so I've been here since November, and we're catching lots of fish, lots of big ones, and lots of top water.
Sure. So are you fishing every day right now?
I'm fishing every day, but I'm not guiding every day.
Gotcha.
We were really, really busy all the way through March, and then in April, the old COVID got a hold of us, man. So it shut. We shut down for a couple weeks and had several cancellations. But we're still going out filming, doing some GoPro stuff. John Cox came over with Keith Carson and filmed some stuff for Crash Liner the other day. So that was
Man,
cool.
the Tin Man in the house. How about that? Did you have a good day?
Yeah, it was. They actually did a pretty cool little deal. Crestliner was given. They did a 1 hour live fish off between John and Keith.
Oh.
And for every fish they caught in that hour, Crestliner donated $25 to American Red Cross.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, not without spoiling, no spoiler alert, but my money's on the Tin Man.
Oh yeah, they were actually in it as a team deal.
Oh.
And any side, basically they're supposed to catch 15 fish a piece.
Yep.
And I think they ended up with around 25 in the hour.
Okay.
But John caught a 6.
Wow.
And it was pretty cool because with 5 minutes left, actually about 3 minutes left, he caught an 8.5 pounder on.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
on a big Berkeley cane walker. So it was good for everybody. It was good for everybody. Of course, makes John look even better.
Sure.
Red Cross got their money, and it made Vero Trophy Bass Lake really good.
Man, that's outstanding. How many lakes are down there that you're guiding on?
We have two 200-acre lakes.
Okay.
We're working to get a couple of more.
Yeah.
Hopefully this time next year we'll have at least one more.
Fantastic.
So,
I checked out the site. It's fascinating to me. I mean, right there. I went to Pompano Beach as a college senior for spring break, man, and Vero's right there, man. And then Boca Raton is like close, right? I mean, you're right there by the Atlantic. How far are you from the beach when you're bass fishing?
10 minutes.
What? I'm totally beaching and bassing. That's what's up, everybody. Beaching and bassing. It's a new thing. I'm coming down, dude.
So it's kind of cool, man. We got so we have a North Lake, and then it overflows into a canal that runs through the property.
Right.
That water eventually gets pumped into our South Lake and then spills into another canal that ends up in the Indian River.
Oh, really?
That ends up in the Atlantic.
Wow, that's cool.
So when we're managing these lakes, we're taking thousands and thousands of pounds of small bass out each year.
Right.
We release them into the canal, and then when they grow up, we catch them back out.
Oh, that's cool.
A fast grower or something, that's a 6-pounder when he's 2 years old.
6-pounder, 2-year-old fish. That's great.
I'm not saying that happens.
Right. But if you did, he'd go back in.
Yeah, everything over 5 we catch out of the canals, we release back into the reservoir. So
okay, it's very cool, man. Wow.
Nice. So we didn't lose Ryan, but his computer shut off. He's going to call us back. You got me, Eric? You hear me fine?
We can carry on. We can carry on without him.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you're perfect, Travis. No, dude, you're doing good.
So how did you and Ryan actually meet?
Oh, let's see. I'm going to say that was probably through our buddy David Allen that guides over on Pickwick.
Okay, sure.
I think that's how we got introduced, which they met from fishing down at wherever they fish down there in Florence. You have I can't even remember the name of their school. I'm sorry, Ryan and David. But I guess I've known Ryan about 6 years.
Sure. Now you do.
Did you meet him on the tournament trail or what?
Well, when I would go down, I guided on Kentucky Lake for 10 years.
Okay.
And fish tournaments locally and regionally. And then once I met David, I would stay with David Allen when I would go fishing down at Pickwick, and I met Ryan that way.
Oh, very cool.
So I don't know that we actually ever fished against each other, because he kind of fished the Chews and I fished the LBL and Mountain and Mississippi and all that divisions. And then we just stayed in touch, and we're kind of in business together a little bit, you could say.
Very cool. True, right? With the Frankie Five Finger, or the wait a minute, I like the Frankie Five Finger, or what else did you call that thing, man? The VA spinner. Was that the original name, or you just got some nicknames for it, man? The
original name. A good friend of mine, Mike Siddons, he helped me kind of design and build that thing, and he originally called it the Frankenspin. And then I started calling it Frankie Five Fingers, and then I started calling it Frank. And then there's another group of guys that call it Elvis. There's a group of guys that call it the Batman.
Elvis.
Five-finger death punch.
Dang, man, that's some hot naming going on right there. I'm not even sure people know what the hell we're talking about. But at some point, we gotta have to show that bait and talk about it a little bit.
You would think I would have one here ready to show off.
Right, it's got to be. I know Ryan's got one. Ooh, nice. So, no. I mean, is Ryan back yet?
No, not yet. But that's all right. We'll find him.
Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about.
Sure. I want to hear about your journey into bass fishing, man.
Yeah, well,
mine?
Before we start there, Eric. So just so you guys know, Brent's got 7 BFL wins, which is pretty impressive. That's 1 win is hard to come by, even at that level's stout. Don't get me wrong, but 7, that's crazy. So you just dominated, huh?
Cuckoo.
Well, yeah. I found kind of a loophole, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Tell us.
I figured out. It's a long story, man. I don't know how much time we have, but I figured out a deal.
5 hours, dude. 5 hours. We got 5. Literally, we went 5 hours the other night. You got all the time you need.
Well, I don't want to put your viewers to sleep, but no, I figured out a deal on Kentucky Lake that happened in the fall. which was typically a really tough time to catch fish. And I think I started tapping into it about 2012. And 2013, I really figured it out. And then, so I guess for about 4 years in the fall, I don't want to say dominated, but I won quite a bit of money. BFLs, ABAs, some team events, BFL regionals. And I also made 3 All-Americans in a row by going to a different division that had a regional on Kentucky Lake and coming back and fishing the regional. So,
wow.
Like I say, there's an asterisk. I mean, I guess a win's a win, but I think 5 of my 7 wins were in the fall on Kentucky Lake. So
sure. We're all 7 on Kentucky, or were the other 2 at different lakes?
Actually, I won 1 at Barron River, which is that was a Gene tournament. That was a ledge tournament.
So, have you fished Kentucky in the fall recently, and has that changed from the way you used to do well in tournaments compared to today?
Absolutely. The last year that it was good, let's see, that would have been, I won the regional in 15, and I came back in 17 and finished second. And then I did it again. I made it again in 18, and that was the year that it was like what I had been doing and what a lot of other people had also figured out how to do went away. Which was, it was all topwater. It was main lake topwater, getting out on big flat, shallow bars,
sure,
and throwing a big spook. Yeah. And so that's where those big ones were.
So when the secret got out, was that just like the next year everybody was doing it? Is that kind of what happened, or?
It was slow. It was slower than that. The first year that I really dialed it in, I think I waited. We had an ABA. They used to have the weekend series. They still have them, but they're not called the Bassmaster Weekend Series anymore. I think it's the Ram Truck Open or something. But I had won one of those in September. I think it was 2012 or 13. And I had like 51 pounds for 2 days, and second place was like 20-something pounds, wow, for 2 days. So it kind of got everybody's attention. And then 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, we had our super tournament, LBL BFL, and I was leading it after day one of like 26-something, and second place was like 18. I had a pretty big lead. And the next morning, everybody knew I fished south, sure, on Kentucky Lake, like the Paris area, and even further south. Mm-hmm. So the second morning of that BFL, I got to Paris Bridge, and there were like 30 boats sitting out there waiting.
Oh, wow.
Really?
And yeah, and I was kind of young and dumb and naive, and I was like, man, this is so cool. All these people want to watch me fish.
You probably, looking back, I just got something to say about that, because that's crazy. Looking back now, I'm assuming you went to your juice right away and showed the world. But I bet if you could do it all over again, you had a pretty good lead. You just needed to scratch up 5 fish somewhere else and not show everybody, right? I mean, kind of.
You're right, and unfortunately, the way that it happened, I went to my juice, and I didn't catch a fish there.
Huh.
I sat there for 4 hours and never got a bite. And I think all but about 10 of my flotilla got tired of watching and thought I was bluffing. And
sure,
I ended up going and catching 18 pounds out deep and ended up winning the tournament that way.
Oh, wow.
Which was it was one of those deals, it's meant to be, because I caught them off of like a school of 2-pounders. I mean, they turned into 18 pounds worth. And when it's time to win, you can't screw it up. So
people are asking about the bait, and I'm just going to take a wild guess. I'm going to hold a bait up, and if it's not the bait or it is the bait, you don't have to say anything, Brent, but this is a guess. It's the Magnum Czar Spook, everybody. It's as long as my arm. It ain't the bait. That's just for fun.
Yeah. I tried some crazy stuff out there on the fish.
I love it.
I've got a bait. I'll try to find it here in a sec. Once we get Ryan back and he can start steal some time. It's called a 9-pin. It's a big wooden pencil popper, and it looks like a bowling pin, and it's 9 inches long.
But did it work?
No. About the biggest thing I caught him on was I caught some on a big lunker punker, and but it wasn't very efficient to fish.
Because the fish would get off, or just too hard to throw. Ryan's vacuuming again.
Yep.
So, guys, for anybody who doesn't know what a lunker punker is out there, it is a giant bait, man. I mean, look at the size of that thing. So, they hit it, but what? Hookup ratio, or did you lose fish, or?
It was fine. It was just a load to throw.
Yeah.
And you know the originals, like I had wooden, so they don't cast very well.
Yeah, these are OGs. Yeah.
Yeah. So my original setup was a silver bone saltwater spook, super spook.
Oh yeah.
And if there was a chop on the water, I used a bone chugging spook, and if it was flat out windy, I used a 7-inch Cordell pencil popper.
I think I read the article about your wins because I remember that lineup. I'm sure I did. That's cool.
Yeah, FLW did an article one time.
They did. Yeah, I mean, it was good tips for me on the Potomac. You know, a little bit of chop. They love a spook there, too. Obviously, they love a spook anywhere. But, you know, going to that chugging spook got me, you know, they'd still bite it, even though there was a ton of chop on the water. So, cool beans, man.
Probably the downfall of that whole pattern was the whopper plopper. Because what I say is they would, I still believe a walking bait caught those fish better, but a whopper plopper would locate the fish. So I was going out for 10 hours a day for 12 days in a row walking a spook with no hooks on it, searching for these fish.
Wow.
And most people just didn't have the confidence or the willpower, you know, to do that. And then when the plopper came out, body could chunk and wind, you know.
No doubt about that, man. Are you sad about Charlie Campbell, man?
What's that?
Charlie Campbell passed away.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm sorry. I didn't even hear who you said. Yeah, man, that's a sad deal. Deal.
Yeah, man. He was like the spook master. I mean, he threw it on like a 5.5 foot rod that was, you know, part glass, and he only wanted the one that had the line tie coming out of the front. Like second and third generations were too thick walled. If he got one, you know, he liked the one knocker. I think he felt like it was a decent bait, but he still said it was too heavy. You know, just really, really, really interesting how he'd modify it. You know, like drill a hole in it and pop a couple BBs in it if it didn't have it. I mean, that's the kind of geeky shit I'm into. But anyway, I digress. So I just wondered if, you know, somebody that you kind of looked up to coming up, or whether he was too old school for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, I obviously remember him, but
sure.
But my top water. That's one thing. Again, I don't want to say nobody knows who I am. I'm not famous for anything, but around home, that's what I was known for, is top water.
Right.
And I'm not like a top water guru. Like, I don't go to the lake looking to throw top water.
Sure.
I want to throw the best thing, the thing that gives me the best chance to win. And it just so happened it was a super cool way to catch great big fish when everybody thought they had, like, were uncatchable. So
disappeared. Did you stumble upon the pattern, or did you figure it out one day? I mean, how does that work? Because sometimes there's some crazy stories about how you figure out the deal, right?
Yeah, I'll give you the quick long version. So it was about 2011, and we had a lot of spiny naiad in our lake, which is a submerged vegetation.
Right.
And I had been catching fish on a bait that I had actually designed that Ryan knows a little bit about. And I don't know, I did pretty well that year. I think, I won a couple and had some top fives on this little bait. And I kept going back to this patch of grass. And as the fall progressed, the grass started disappearing. But as long as there was a little bit there, the school was still there.
Mm.
So finally, around late October, my little patch of grass is washed away. I went to check it one last time. It was gone, and way out in the middle of this shallow bar, I see a big gizzard shad, shoot out of the water.
Wow!
So I troll out there to it, fire a spook on it, catch a 3-pounder, reel it in. It's got 53-pounders swimming with it. I'm like, man, that's cool. Sit there, and, we beat their heads in that day. I think I was on a guide trip that day. I can't remember.
Sure.
And I put a waypoint, forgot all about it. Well, fast forward to 2012, September rolled around, and I started going to check to see if that grass was growing in that bar, which it wasn't. And this was the first weekend of September, practicing for an ABA weekend series 2-day. And I was like, man, before I leave, just for the heck of it, I'm going to troll over to that waypoint and just see. Because in my mind, I was like, that was a fluke. The bass chased the shot through there. I happened to see him. And, that's kind of, I just happened to be there at the right time. So, I mean, it's noon, 80-something degree water, 95-degree air temperature, no wind. I troll out to this waypoint, fire my super spook out there, click it twice, and a 6-pounder crushes it.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what, man? Like,
there's something to it.
I might get my tournament. I can catch 15 pounds out deep. If I come and hit this place 3 times a day, I might win 1 5-pounder over 2 days and win it, kind of deal. And day one, I pulled up to that place at 11:30 with 16 pounds I caught out deep, and in 15 minutes I had 28.90.
Dang.
That's stupid. How did you keep it under your hat for as long as you did? That's hard.
Yeah, well, one thing, man, it's crazy. It was almost like it's meant to be. I've never really thought about it like this. But so that place, I wasn't on anybody's radar yet. So, it was like, oh crap, Brent just ran across grass fish, caught 52 pounds in 2 days or 51 pounds in 2 days. So, nobody really thought a lot about it. And then when I followed it up the next weekend with another 50-pound 2-day bag, that's when the people started following and everything. So what would happen is each year, like I knew I'd lost that original place. So the next year I would just look for the next best place.
Yeah, you just,
and I just
right on.
Yeah, I kept working my way down the lake because there was a certain set of, ingredients I needed, and that's where that school of winning fish would be. Right. And it was pretty cool because I think after the second year I did it, on my way to weigh in the second day of the BFL that I was about to win, I looked at the lake as I was running back, and I was like, that's where they're going to be next year. And the next year I won a 2-day BFL right there. And on my way back in that day, I said, I'm gonna check that next year, and I ended up winning a 2-day or a BFL regional right there the next year.
That's crazy.
So wow. It was very blessed, man. Pretty fortunate deal.
Unbelievable.
When it's meant to be, it's meant to be, man. And when it's not, it's not. You can't make it happen when it's not meant to be.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, no doubt about it. So when you talk about a spook, are you talking about generic spook lures, or you're talking about the Zara spook? I mean, the ones you just mentioned, the 3. Did you ever get into like the stick sticks and the one from Reaction Innovations? Not them. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like the. I did. I tried them all. I tried a lot of, but I was best just kind of keeping it simple. I mean, I know a lot of people love that Vixen and Repo Man, and
sure.
I never did much good on them. I had one really strange bait. It was one of my favorites. It was a 2-hook though, but it would walk in any size wave. Because what I figured out is when you found these fish, you would catch them. It doesn't matter. I mean, if it's a slick calm or 5-footers.
Wow.
Like so as long as I could make it walk in that size wave, I was gonna get the bites.
Sure. But
there's a bait called Imakatsu Trero.
What? Amakatsu is one of my favorite companies, man.
It's Ima Japan, man. It's called Trairo. I think TRA. It sounds like it's got a Krylon spray paint, dude. It's the loudest one for a.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, that can make a difference, the knocker and the sound. Like, Ryan's got a 1-knocker going right now. What you knocking on, Ryan? 1 minute. I think he's going to get one. Man, so there's a super loud bait that I got a hold of. It's the Maria Miscarna. And this dude, it's a saltwater bait, so it doesn't have the right colors, but I don't care. That thing, dude, that little jammer for a small bait is a giant knocker kind of sound. I got to take it out of the pack. Yeah, and it walks good. It walks good. I don't know if you can hear it. It's just like, yeah, it's just like it's a single knock. And when you get it going, man, it's kind of like that, what is that skitter walk? That thing is loud. For a small little dude, that thing is loud.
Yeah, I guess now me and a lot of other people are on the shower blows deal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
what's your favorite size shallow blow if you could only throw one?
If I could only throw one, I'd throw 125. But I'm telling you, down here in Florida, it's been a 150, man. It's been ridiculous. We've caught so many 8+ pounders the last 3 weeks on that 150. And a 125. John was throwing a cane walker when he was here, and he caught 8.5 on it. So
sure. Do you feel like a bigger bait generally gets a bigger bite?
In a way, everybody's wanting me to shut up. I know. I'm gonna let y'all talk in a minute.
No. This is why you're here.
This is why they're tuning in, man. This is like live experience. We keep it raw, man. I
do want to say something, guys. The audio's decent. The video's terrible. It's my fault. I made a little message here. If you guys want us to end early, and I think this information's way too good to go kind of as shitty as this feed is going tonight. You know what I mean? Does that make sense, Eric? Do you want to keep going? It's pretty bad. It's doable. Guys are like, yeah, we want to learn, but because it's not none of your guys' fault. It's the internet here. You know what I mean?
I wasn't. I don't know. I'm reading the comments, and nobody's like end this stream, dudes, except you.
Okay. All right. Well,
I'm not.
I think Brent's gonna have a lot of great information. I just don't want to. I don't want to have to. Let's keep going, but I apologize. I wish it was a little bit better on my end.
Oh, nice! This is the show and tell. He says he'll ride it out top notch. Keep it rolling. Go to quad. Restart. Right, guys, we will be back. It's all good. It's all good. I would say reconnect. Nah, man, I can hear him.
Well, once
Travis,
I leave,
the feed is much better when you go away. Can you restart? Try to restart. So, it's everybody's like, keep rolling or restart. So you can decide. Do you want to try to restart and get a better line? Do it.
Why can we not hear Ryan?
So, what's it doing? It's just lagging pretty bad.
I'm muted. It because they bitch about me when I move.
Man, your mic is like super sensitive. Do you got the hot mic when you move? Dude, I don't think you understand. It's unbelievable.
He's got that Joe Rogan set up, man.
Yeah. So seriously, all right. You saw me some weird things happen, like over here.
Yeah.
A second ago, guys. I got a story.
What happened?
I have 2 koozies that are identical. I left a beer in here from a week ago. Hammered that thing and almost threw up.
Is that why your screen went blank for a second?
Yes. I had to run. Like, oh my God, it was so bad.
All right, we're gonna keep going. People want to hear this stuff. They say the audio's good, so they'll listen to this tomorrow. They'll listen to this tomorrow on their cars.
Okay, it's more like a podcast.
Yes,
dude,
perfect. I love it.
I see some red.
I'm getting pissed because he's showing off baits and I can't see him that clear.
Travis, they're saying 4 ways better. Okay.
4 ways better.
It just got a little bit better on my screen.
All right, there we go.
I don't know.
Will's working on the internet right now.
Yeah, 4 ways better, Travis, is what they're saying.
All right.
Go 4-way, Travis. Try it.
I'm on 4-way.
It makes us smaller. Oh, I'm lagging.
You're fine. All right, let's keep going. Let's hear the juice. Look at that.
Oh my God! Look at this bait. Sorry about the crash.
I forgot what we were talking about.
Yeah, Travis kind of was the buzzkill. We were kind of rolling.
Suck.
Dude, that's unbelievable.
Oh my God!
You pulled out that box.
Do what?
You pulled out that box, and that's kind of where we stopped.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, you were asking about a big bait did I think a big bait? There was a situation. I think it was in 2014. I won the BFL Super Tournament, and I found like a school of 3-pound class fish. I was real like nervous when I was practicing. I didn't want to get seen. I typically cut my hooks off. And for what it's worth, a spook will not walk with no hooks the same. So you want to just cut them off and leave them on when you practice and watch the big 7 and 8 pounders eat it and not get it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You have to be super dedicated to getting that W. But anyways, I found these 3-pounders, and then I was like, man, I'm not going to win on those. And the day before the tournament, I thought I found the juice, the winners, man. I had like 3 5-pluses blow my junk up on consecutive casts, and I was like, that's where it's going to go down. So Saturday morning, I run up there. I beat around, like fish for 2 hours where these 5-pounders are. Nothing happens. I go kill some time somewhere else, come back. Nothing happens. And I'm like, it's 11, 12 o'clock. I'm like, man, I got to get some fish. So I ran up to these 3-pounders, and I was throwing that because it was a little breeze, just a little bit of chop, not windy, but just a chug and spook. And I catch like 18 or 19 pretty quick. So I run back to where these 5-pounders were, and I'm like, I'm spending the rest of the day here. And with about 45 minutes left, I've yet to get a bite on the spot. So I tied that dude on, which is it's
a Cordell, right?
It's a Cordell 7-inch, hand spray painted with almond spray paint, and by now it's gotten slick on, and I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna win. I gotta at least have a big lead because I always fell off on day 2. So I'm like, man, if I only got 19 today, I'm gonna have to bust them tomorrow. That never happened. So I run back to these 3-pounders. And it's dead slick, and I go through there with this dude, and I don't remember how it all went down. I do know I culled all of the 18 pounds, and I weighed in 24 something. But I hooked the biggest topwater fish I ever hooked, and it came off the way of the boat when I got it in. The entire, and these things come with big saltwater split rings on them. And we lost Ryan again. Or maybe he's taking a bathroom break.
No, I'm here.
He's there.
Oh, okay.
What do you prefer? Do you like a triple grip EWG or a round bend? I saw some EWG hooks on that. One of them.
I've always used the Gamma or the Mustad short shank, EWG stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well, I mean. You can't argue with your success fishing topwater.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I was a EWG on my topwater baits, like a walking bait, for a long time, and then I got nervous for some reason in my head. I must have read something or someone said something to me, and I kind of switched to round bends just because of the slapping and things like that. I just figured maybe I am missing some fish, but man, that EWG, when you get them hooked, they're coming in mostly.
Yeah, that's
What's your strike to catch ratio? Like strike to catch, like blow up to catch. I mean, you've done a lot of topwater fishing. I'm just looking for a gut check.
I have. It's hard to answer.
Sure, fair enough.
The last really good topwater deal I got on, it was at Pickwick. It was the ABA Team Championship. Was that 2 falls ago, Ryan? Do you remember?
It was 2 falls ago.
Yeah, and me and my buddy Zach Parker fishing for two new boats, and we got on a deal down at Pickwick and on the shower blows, which is that one. That's one of my hand paint jobs too. I call that one Lab Rat.
Dude, look at that, man. He's got them crazy eyeballs going, man. He's like a zombie.
Yeah, that's a Lab Rat. But anyways, every fish under 4 pounds that bit us in that 2 days we landed, and every fish except for 3 over 4 pounds we lost. And I'm talking, this sounds like the fisherman story, the big one always gets away, but I'm talking legit. We probably saw, I'll tell you this, we waited in 10 for 2 days that weighed 39, and we lost 7 that would have weighed more.
Wow.
If that makes sense.
Nice,
I'm
man.
talking the like real big ones. From straight from hooks out.
Let's talk about your big bait setup real quick. I mean, just take us through it, man. I know you made a rod, right? Redemption.
Yeah.
Kind of like your signature series. I mean.
Yeah, I designed a topwater rod for those guys, Redemption rods. They're out of Nashville, and it's 7 foot. I don't even know what the action. It's medium heavy, fast, but it's super light. And I throw everything from a little slush daddy up to a 150 shower blow on it.
For real, the same rod. That's
right.
Is that your big something topwater rod? It's got your Yeah, do you braid it? I imagine, right? You're braiding it, or no?
Any walking baits I throw braid. Down here we throw a lot of prop baits in Florida.
Sure.
So if I'm throwing anything small like a popper or a little devil's horse or whatever, I usually throw it on mono.
Yeah. What's your braid size, Brent?
Yeah.
65.
What?
Yeah, and we had this combo the other night. I said no less than 50 ever.
Wow, man, that's incredible. All right, favorite braid, dude, because we had a line show, and a lot of people are talking about their favorite braids, and everybody's switching, and still searching for that. What's your favorite braid?
I'm using there now because I've been using their fluorocarbon forever, and that Smackdown, and I like it, but I mean forever and ever I used Power Pro.
Did you ever try the Super Slick version 2?
Yes, I cannot stand that. Anything but the original.
Wow. Got it. Wow.
And I will the reason a lot of people, I've been asked that a bunch. To me, you know how devastating a backlash can be on braid. To me, 65 is more forgiving. Like sure. if you were back, because man, I'm talking.
True.
When we're poling down, and once I find these fish on these places, I'm poling down and I'm making.
You're bombing it.
Yeah, this is funny. I've done this on several casts, and people are always like, "You can't really throw 100 yards," and I'm like, "I don't know if I can or not, but I can throw it to the flipping spool." You know what I'm saying? So
that's crazy.
It's got to be 80.
Yeah, I mean, me and David Allen threw some out in his yard and counted it, and we were like around 70, 75 yards. So I don't know.
Yeah. But, dude, I throw that big King Daddy strike, the big frog, the giant frog. Dude, on 65-pound braid, I can send it. I'm not saying I can get the fish in a grass bed, but I send that bitch. I tell you what, they'll blow up on it. I won't be reeling them in because, it's just in a grass bed. I mean, open water, sure, but I have fun throwing it because I bomb it. I mean, it goes. Even on 65, it surprised me.
Oh, sure, man. And to me, if you have a little slip up with 65, you can still salvage that reel. But when you start getting into that little thin 50 and 40,
it's over. It's over. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
But the main thing with me is it gets that smaller braid will come through your split rings and it'll get tangled up in your split rings and stuff like that.
How do you stop the braid? I've heard a trick like get a piece of like very thin surgical tubing, put it right on the end. Do you do any trick to stop the braid from tangling it, or are you just such a master walker you avoid that whole thing?
The only time I use anything like that is on a prop bait.
Yeah.
And I've used everything from a WD-40 straw to a coffee straw to whatever.
Doesn't matter, right?
I'll put a bobber stop in front of it too to keep it snug. But I changed my split rings and always put it.
Ooh, I'm writing that down.
Juice. That's juice right there.
What was that again?
Oval split ring.
Ryan, your Skype keeps going in and out. Are you there?
Does it? I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm here, buddy.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What's your gear ratio, Brent, that you like to throw?
I throw everything on the same reel except for big crankbaits, but I use 7.5 to 1. Lose lights.
Gotcha. Yeah. Nice, man.
Because, man, like I walk it like I talk it. I walk it as fast as you could possibly walk it.
Come on, man, really? Not
don't tell him that.
Charlie Campbell say walk it slow, man. He was like the complete opposite. It's so crazy. I mean, honestly, right? I mean, just like most people fish it too fast. But that's Charlie, and that's his style. So it probably worked for him. You're out there burning that bitch, huh? Which ain't really walking it. It's more like, I don't even know what. It's like, is that thing going, blah, 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 but is it walking like this? Or
it's doing this.
Dude?
It's doing this.
Yeah, it's trying to find it, right? It's like trying to get away.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to, come see me in Florida. I'll show you how to walk it.
Oh, I'm coming.
But it's funny, man. There's two, sides of it. And I think both sides of those spectrums catch giant fish.
Sure.
And I fit on Pickwick and some of these other Tennessee River lakes. When I'm on with the slow knocking, it's obnoxiously slow. Like, so slow that I promise you won't be able to do it. It's a lot easier to work it the way Brent's going to tell you. But sometimes the cast takes a minute and a half, 2 minutes. But you catch giants when they're on it. But it's situational, too. Like, you're targeting something specific. And not that he's not targeting something specific, but it's more of a vast area.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Hey, go ahead. Sorry, man.
No, you're good. That's what I was going to say. Most of my topwater tips are for that shallow bar, shallow flat school. I'm not trying to draw a 7-pounder up off of a stump or a brush pile. I mean,
fair enough.
I know. My technique does not work for that fish.
That makes sense. Yeah, I get it. You're open water schooling, right? They're schooling, right? They're schooling, right? Yeah. Oh.
Well, that's another cool thing, man. They wouldn't show themselves, not the big ones.
Wow.
The big ones.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it would really be. Man, I wish it was still good, so I could show people. Because man, I'd be out there all by myself and seeing just amazing things. Because it was always best the first day I found them, and that was always in practice. And, I would see 8-pounders come up and get a bait with no hooks and swim for 45 seconds, and then it bobs up, and you move it one time, and then.
Dude, we had that experience. Me and Billy Kramer, he guided on the Potomac for 35 years. We had a frog day. I helped him practice for the St. Jude Celebrity Tournament, man. And it was epic. Those fish ate that frog. I don't even know. They'd swim around with it, and I'm like, I can't get them off. They would not spit the bait. And when they spit the bait, they'd come back and eat it 2 and 3 times. Brent, it was crazy, man. I've never seen it like that since, but it was unbelievable. And Billy was like, this is the best day I've ever had on the river. And saying that is saying something, because that guy guided for 35 years and still fishes tournaments on the river today. We fished the Battle of the Board last year. But I was shocked how long they held on to that bait. I mean, it's a frog. You're telling me they're holding on to a hard body spook?
Yeah.
That don't feel like no shad. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of fish in these schools, and I think they were just so competitive,
Wow, that blows my mind.
Brent, have you ever caught one without the hooks?
Yes, one time.
Whoa.
And, like I say, I'm leaving the hooks on, but I'm cutting them. I mean, I'm cutting them about here.
Yeah. Man, is that a 2X hook right there? That looked like a 2X.
Yeah, you gotta beef up that.
Yeah,
because I don't really believe in drag.
Wow. So a color of choice, man. Are you bone white? Are you a shad? Are you straight black? What's your confidence, and what are some colors that you may not have tried that you would like to, if any?
Almond, Krylon, and straight white anything.
As long as it's boned.
Wow. So you don't mess around with black?
As long as they're boned, man. No, I've always been 99% of the time boned back home. But what I have learned down here is you really got to match if they're eating bluegills down here in Florida, you want to be throwing a bluegill, and vice versa. And I mean, we've watched it. These are small lakes that we're on every day, and we can really study the fish. And they will go from eating bone, sexy shad colored spook or topwater overnight to eating like it's got to have chartreuse and orange on it, something bright. And it always happens around the bluegill hatch, but that's pretty cool.
Wow.
I got cool paint job, some Krylon paint jobs for those too, if I can find them.
That's awesome. Man, very cool.
Dang. I'm just reading through the comments here.
Oh, yeah, man. I got a good
Trying to
question.
keep up
Yeah,
with
sure,
everything.
man.
So, real quick, I'm doing a shameless plug. If you guys have seen me wearing these Kusa cotton hats, I got a discount code for you. Are you ready?
Oh, Kusa Cotton. Let's go.
Salzy, SALZY, all caps. And I think it's 15 or 20%. I'm not sure which one. It's one of those. But these Kusa cotton, and they have swim jigs there, but these hats are just the coolest thing ever. And they got some shirts that are really nice that if you want to wear on a date and you're a fisherman, but you want to look cool and be sophisticated, check them out.
Nice.
Is that a baby blue logo, Ryan?
It was because I'm like a baby boy, you know. All right, I think I'm gonna switch hats. Here we go.
Nice,
I think
man.
you need to send me that one, dude. That's my signature color.
I think I'm gonna hook you up. I'm gonna buy you one, Brent. I'm gonna buy you one right there.
So I come to
That's what you get for coming on the show, man. Let's talk about some prop baits, man, and devil horses. All right, so down in Florida, since this is like kind of topwaterish, do you modify your devil's horse, or do you just fish it straight?
Yeah, well, you know, my only batch of devil's horses are really old.
Yeah,
they have the little hook harness hangers.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I got one right here, man. I brought it out for tonight because I knew you were coming. So I figured you'd be a devil's horse, man. And there's some old school ones in here. So I'm just gonna bring out an old school one, man, to show the viewers what's up.
Cool.
So this is what he's talking about, everybody. See, he's got the old harness. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
The screw harness on the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
all right, that's what he's talking about.
Your screen just went blue as well, Eric.
I know. It's okay. It's okay. We're still here. It's going in and out.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead. Talk to us. So the harness. Talk.
You good, bud? You good, Travis?
I'm good. Keep going.
Breathe, baby. Breathe.
I know. I just wish it was smooth. Okay,
we may just have to have a round two.
I'm learning. Yeah.
Everybody's super clear looking on my end except for Travis.
Really?
I'm blue. Eric's blue now.
Yeah.
All right.
No, we can hear you though. We can hear you.
So talk about the devil's horse.
Yes.
Oh well, I mean, this is just my opinion, but I take those hook hangers off.
Yep.
And I get what are those things called? Those bolts.
Little screw eye.
Yeah, little screw eye bolts.
Yeah.
But you want them to almost come through the back, you know. You want them to,
right. Deep.
Yeah. And epoxy over those original holes, and then put you
Split
two
ring.
new hook hangers in the bottom and one in the butt.
Yep.
Epoxy it up real good.
Right.
And
hey. Now, are you a bango lure guy, like a spin tail? I mean, not so much.
I can't really fall in love with that. And that's when I first went to Kentucky Lake around 04, 05.
Yeah.
All the old timers up there were crazy about that bango lure around the bushes, and I can't figure out how to fish it. Like I either want to fish a jerkbait or I want to fish a prop bait. I don't want to fish it in between.
I got you. What about the Boy Howdy? Still a player? Gold Boy Howdy down in Florida, or like has been?
We throw another old famous Kentucky Lake prop bait. We call it. It's a Gilmore jumper.
Oh, really?
Gilmore jumper.
Yes, sir.
Damn. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Still old school bait, still getting it done.
Yeah, man. The one that was famous on Kentucky Lake, the color is called Old Blue. And it's just like a solid navy blue. Yeah, man.
Imagine that, eating a solid navy blue bait. What?
Yeah. So I took Jeff Evans. I think he's 72 now. He started Fisherman's Headquarters up in Draftonville, Kentucky years ago. Yep. Kentucky Lake legend. And he came down for a trip about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he brought some Old Blues. And
did he really?
He did work on them, buddy. Did work on them bigots.
Man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. And he just sent me a care package, man, with some brand new ones.
Nah.
Yeah, I posted it on Instagram the other night.
Oh, dude, I'll have to look at your IG page, man. I subscribe to you, so I got to check it out. Man, sorry.
Oh, that's cool, buddy.
No, I'm telling the fans. Sorry, I'm like, oh snap, dude!
Nice.
What the hell?
Those are cool.
Is it a wooden bait?
Yeah, they are. They're wooden.
Still made out of wood.
Yep.
And just the straight navy blue.
That was the color on Kentucky Lake.
That's what I'm saying.
Now,
but why were they eating a straight navy blue bait, but only on Kentucky Lake? What?
I have no idea. That was
what the hell does that represent?
That's way before my time. But it was famous. And I mean, I know it's been a player as recent as, I don't know, probably 2013, 14, somewhere in there. A guy had a good tournament on one. So they still catch them on it. But it wouldn't work out there where I was fishing in those giant waves.
Sure. So what's the best time if somebody's coming to visit you down there at the Vero Beach Club, Big Bass Club?
Immediately.
Like right now.
Dude, I'm telling you, I get asked that all the time.
Yeah.
And this is in its infancy, man. Last February of 19 is when I started this.
Wow.
And it was amazing the entire time I was here. This year, we started up in December. And December was kind of spotty, actually.
Sure.
Because they said it was a extremely late summer.
Yep.
No, we were catching big ones, but not the numbers.
Sure.
But since the last week of February, it's been 100 bites a day on top water every day.
Oh my God.
Every day.
Does anybody come down and throw like a giant bait, like a glide bait? Has anybody brought down a stupid rat or, like crazy?
Yeah, I had an article come out on FLW today about throwing glide baits down here.
Now you're talking my language. What?
Yeah, man. my home and glide, dude. It's my baby. I caught a 10-pounder. I caught a 10-pounder on video on it the other day.
Wow.
Whoa, wait a minute. So let's talk about the Hallman glide. I don't want to get everybody off the top water game we've been talking about, but now you're wading into something that I throw and I love, and it's crazy what I've seen follow it. And
dude, I don't know if it's because these places are private and they've just never seen it, but they don't follow it down here. They crush it.
Okay, so I could tell you a story about, I'm for certain that no fish had ever seen a Gancraft jointed claw 230 slow sinking on Lake Gaston in Virginia. And I went up and I said, I'm going to throw it. And the only one I had was a freaking rainbow trout color. There's no trout in Gaston. Right. Dude, literally, I was by the dam. I wanted to find the deepest, clearest water I could find. It was pre-spawn. I said, I'm going to give it a whirl, man. Roll over there. First bank, I go into a little cut. I'm like, it's a spawning place, man. There's a row of docks, some shore grass on the side. I'm looking. I didn't see anything. Covered boathouse. 2 empty slips at the boathouse. Throw it down the first chute, 4.5 comes out looking. I'm like, huh. So down the next one, a 6 comes out looking. I'm like, this is crazy. In the first 5 minutes. And I located and marked beds with the fish that were on beds that came to look. My buddy I'm talking to him on the phone because I'm on my Skeeter. He's bringing his Ranger. And I'm like, dude, you're not going to believe it. And he goes, that's bullshit. They know. And I'm like, fine, man, whatever. I got the marks. We're winning tomorrow. And so he comes and finally launches his boat, meets me in a cut. There's the biggest dock in the cut. And he goes, show me this dumbass bait. And I picked it up. He just started laughing. I make a shitty cast. There's a boat in the covered boathouse. I didn't want to hit the boat with this giant, because I've cracked docks before, I'm 5 feet away from the engine. And I'm like, I'm just doing the reel to show him, like, now watch me speed it up. And I throw some half hitches in it, it glides way out. And then I'm looking for my next cast, and he goes, oh my God, there's a 7 behind it. And I'm like, the fish is charging, and I pull it away, and we marked that fish. We did not catch that fish, but we caught a 6. I forget what it was, 6 and change for big fish of the tournament, and we came in second. And we didn't catch them on glides that day. We didn't even throw them. We threw different stuff.
I was going to ask you what you actually caught them on.
It wasn't the glide, so just it was locating. That's all I was trying to do. Yeah.
Man, I'm not on top of the lure I was like that when I first started, man. Everything that came out, I was trying to find the next secret bait. And I do have a collection of things that I think are cool.
Yeah.
Now, but I let all my buddies, man. I've got so many buddies now that I've met over the years. They do all the experimenting, and when they tell me something's good, I get it. You know what I mean? But
I think guiding, there's 3 guides on this call. I'm just a joke, bro. I'm a businessman. I love to fish. It's been my passion since the 70s when I was a little kid. Got my lifetime subscription to Bassmaster magazine. I'm a bait junkie. I'm a bait hound. I'm a collector. And but you do it for a living. I mean, tournament fishing and guiding. Ryan guides and tournament fishes. Travis guides and tournament. So to me, it's got to be simpler for you guys because you got to put people on fish. So you're going to what works, and then through experience, you fish your strengths. I mean, makes sense to me, dude. I mean,
I talked about this the other day with my buddy, and I was trying to figure out how to be better on tour because I was analyzing the relationship between guiding and tournament fishing. And I think it's a really cool deal. I see what you got there. So it's exciting.
Here we go. Let's see that bait, man. Almond glide.
I feel like locally in BFLs, like guiding is going to make you one of the best tournament anglers in the area because you're going to have the time on the water. However, traveling and tournament fishing, I have noticed that guiding almost holds you back. And I say that because I think the habits you develop guiding is not conducive to individually pushing your limits.
Really?
On a traveling tournament situation. Yeah, let's think about guiding. I'm not skipping docks. I'm not running and gunning. I'm not making those quick. I have to account for two other people in my boat, position the boat for them. I'm not practicing the skill sets of an individual angler to play like I'm playing on game day every time I'm out there. And it creates bad habits of not performing to that top level. It's performing at an average, like just a mediocre pace, as opposed to that high level pace.
Interesting.
And I was like, I need to make time for me to have 1 or 2 days a week of me going out there by myself, or if whoever's with me, you're tough shit. I'm going to be out there doing me, and pushing myself to that other limit. Because I was trying to figure out, like, why do I have these like jump ups and downs, and I was just thinking about it, and I definitely get those bad habits from guys. Not that because I'm trying to get them to catch fish.
Right. That's interesting.
But on the local level, it keeps you on the fish, so it accounts for. You don't have to be that good if you're on them. Like, you know what I mean? That is trying to find them on tour,
Right. That's fascinating, man. I'm curious to hear what Brent says about that. But I found that most people that guide and tournament fish, they have their strengths. It's a narrow window of bait selection. Like I fished with another guy down south, Brent, and he's a Bugs Island guy, he's a Gaston guy, he's a Roanoke River guy, Albemarle Sound guy. And the day I met him, I'd gone down for a tournament, and we were using my buddy's boat. So I'm down in Carolina, and I'm all stoked to, like, prep up, go fishing that Friday. My buddy calls me. He works for a big company. He goes, dude, I'm out. I'm like, you're out? I'm 6 hours away from the house. I ain't got a boat. You're out? What? So I'm calling around. I fuck it. I'm a hired guide. I'd never been on this river. And so 2 guys called me back. I like the one guy better. His name is Scooter Lilly. And he goes, look. He goes, my bass boat's in the shop. I got a bay boat with a T-top. You don't mind fishing on that? We could go. And I'm like, well, this will be cool. I said, that's fine, man. Show up. Let's go. I'm just looking to fish a new body of water and practice for a day. That's all right. So he shows up, and it's a saltwater boat, and it's about 110 degrees. And, of course, I got my 12 rods. I got a big-ass bag. I'm loaded for bear to figure it out, right? He goes, look, I'm bringing 2 bags of this and 2 rods. And I got a 3rd rod, but I don't think I'll throw it. Man, he whacked their ass. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened, man? Of course, I had the drop shot about a 7.5 pounder for the big fish of the day, but he showed me something. Travis, thank you. And I wasn't power shot. It was actually on a spinning rod. But it was really, really cool to watch somebody just completely understand the body of water, know when the fish were going to position at the right conditions. It's not a tidal body of water. I'm a river rat. This is a wind-driven tide situation. And everything, he just had a rhythm. You know what I mean? So I marvel at guides or people, whether they guide or not, that just get to understand a body of water, how fish move, and just have it broken down, like 3 rods on the deck and go to work. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're here, baby. It's interesting just that dynamic relationship between, because the guide relationship, like you said, is so intimate with the body of water. We really understand they're here, they're not biting. Versus when we're on a lake we haven't been to, we don't know those details, and you got to adjust on the fly. Sure. And if you're not practicing those habits, you lose that skill.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it's the guide's dilemma. I think was it Pete Gluzik that he wrote a good article on that, because Pete guides, but he was also on the elites, and I think he still fishes the open sometimes. He's the Bass University guy, and I did a bass class with Pete. It was kind of cool getting on his boat, and he knew what he wanted to throw in the upper bay, and I brought some new stuff to the party, and that was kind of cool too, and I opened his eyes a little bit, because I'm all over the map. I love testing new shit out. That's the magic in fishing for me, because I don't get to fish as much. Yeah. Interesting, man. Very cool. Show us that glide, dude. I'm drooling.
Man, I almost hate to do it because they're not for sale.
Don't do it then. All right, it's just a double jointed glide bait, right? I mean, it's not. Yeah, I got you.
And I'm trying to get him to sell them, man.
All right.
But he's super, I guess, particular about it. And
sure.
I just got like the 2.0 version in 2 days ago, and I've already caught some giants on it here. And I said, man, you could sell this for, I don't know, you could set the price. It's
sure.
I mean, to me, it's as good as some of that like Roman made stuff.
Yeah, so it's hand carved,
hand everything. You sure you don't want to see it? I got it right here.
I want to see it. Yeah. I don't care if it's for sale or not. Let's see that bad boy.
Right, this is the Generation 1.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's ridiculous, man.
Oh my God.
And this is pretty cool. It's a through line.
Wow.
Oh,
a line through.
A line. Whoa. That's kind of I've never seen that done on a hard bait.
Sign us up.
Yeah,
makes sense, man.
So
wow.
This is the original, and this is hard, the dorsal.
Yeah.
And then he had they've eaten it off, that he had the little thread fin like a shad has.
Yep.
And then this is the brand new double hook version.
Oh, very cool.
Wow.
And he's gone, this is
soft too. Yeah. I mean, they wouldn't have that hard thing impeding their hook. And that tail that's just a perfect imitation. Is that a gizzard?
Yeah. He made this bait off of an actual live.
Wow.
Well, a dead real gizzard shad.
Travis,
that's how
Travis, did you ever see the Angry Elf video that Travis produced?
No, I did.
So we're on the Upper Bay, right? And this is our first annual Christmas episode, and we're fishing shad wraps, and we're catching some fish, and we grinded it out with some traps and stuff. It was a little bit of a challenge. So he's wearing an elf hat, and I'm wearing a Santa hat, and I'm sitting down to have a sandwich, right? Because I'm hungry, man. It's like later in the day. We didn't crush him, so he's kind of angry, and so he catches a shad. And he starts to say, man, he goes, shad are delicious. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? He goes, what, you don't believe me? He goes, they're tasty. I will. And he frickin's holding the shad. And then he bites on the back of the shad's neck. An entire crunchy bite out. And I just fucking freak out, dude. You can hear the crunch on the video. It's nasty, dude.
I freaked out watching the video. I was like, wow, like spitting.
Oh yeah.
It's nasty.
I gotta see that. I've been known to eat a shad or two on the water, but mine are always like sardine size. You can just swallow them whole.
Shut up.
Yeah, man. You gotta become one with nature, bro.
Yeah,
man.
One with nature. I can't argue that.
Yeah, man.
I want to finish this. I want to show you this real quick, though, man.
Okay.
Because I had no idea how he was going to make a line through dual hook.
Wow.
But he's got this little harness.
That is cool, man.
That's so cool, man.
That is really, so the fish can't use the leverage.
No.
Damn.
So cool. Do you ever have to redo the harness, Brent?
Yeah, he sent me some extra harnesses. I've only had this one for about 3 or 4 days, and I've caught a 7, a 6, a 5, and some 3s on it, and it's still everything's still good to go.
And I'm sure glad I asked the question about glide baits down there because I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know a ton about them. My buddy Nathan Adams, he helps me guide down here, and he throws that what's it called, Nate? The Storm. Arashi.
Oh, Rashi glide, yeah.
He throws that one a lot. He catches them on that. I got a depth lane up there.
Oh, sure. Nice. So Travis, is Will going to make an appearance tonight, man?
Yeah, let's bring him in, guys.
All right. You eating right now?
Yeah, so Joe made me a burrito
What's for dinner?
Eggs and bacon.
Nice.
And a bowl of vegetables.
Breakfast burrito.
Ah, very nice,
I
man.
feel like Ryan right now. Ryan always eats on the show.
Well, I think I'm two eats out of 5 now.
Yeah, you've been better. Yeah, we definitely need to get. You guys want to jump in and say hi real quick?
Sure.
Yeah, come on in. Don't be afraid. We're at the Gajo World headquarters. I'm going to take off speakerphone here. I'm going to eat.
HQ, man.
We got Brent, top left. Ryan.
What's up, bitches?
Eric. Be nice.
Captain Peso.
That's Rock Crawler Joe, man. It's Rock Crawler Joe right there. Another guide. You got 4 guides in the house. There's so much knowledge right on the screen. It's freaking me out. And the 5th one owns Gajo World headquarters, man. 5 guides. It's a record.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Unbelievable. I should be bowing to the knowledge in this room. It's crazy.
So what do you guys want to know? Shoot.
So Brent was talking about topwater baits. He's like a master down in Florida and on the Tennessee River. Big ass spooks, shower blows, all that. What's your experience with topwater?
It's fun.
Yeah.
I hate treble hooks, but I love catching fish on topwater. I love that evergreen, that big evergreen JT 110, whatever. Ring any bells?
Shower blow?
Oh, yeah.
No, not the shower blow.
It's silent.
What's that, Ryan?
The silent one.
It's silent, yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I might have one right here. Let me see.
Yeah, of course, Eric's got
I think
one.
it's a 110. But yeah,
I gotta look.
On the Susquehanna, like late September, pretty much the whole way through. That's where I'm from. Let me reintroduce myself. Raymond, and I'm a guide on the Susquehanna. And I don't know what I'm doing up here. I guess a flooring guy.
We're loving it up
Yeah,
here.
he's a flooring guy up here. He's not.
A lip ripper up here too.
Yeah, that too.
But anyhow, on the Susquehanna in Pennsylvania, there can be a crazy topwater bite, like late summer, early fall, when the water's low and clear. It's not as good as it used to be, probably due to fishing pressure and maybe missing a couple fish out there. But I love walking the dog, right?
Well, yeah, that's what we do.
Ain't nothing better, man.
Who doesn't love walking the dog?
Yeah.
Come on.
So we are 6 feet apart. It might not look like that on the screen, but definitely we're a wingspan away. And
Oh, shut up. Who cares?
JT 125.
Yeah, that's what I say. Who cares?
That might be it. JT 125. I think it's a 110. Maybe there's a 125 also.
could be.
The one I get is like white on the bottom and
I know.
chartreuse up top. It's a freaking. Those hooks
I
that
know.
come on those evergreen lures are so sticky. It's ridiculous.
Stupid. It's stupid. I know the bait you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, you look at them wrong and you get hooked.
Yeah.
Right.
You can hang them on your finger now.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Any
got-
wake baits in your game, Brent? I'm curious about the wake bait game.
More so in Florida. We like to wake the bullshit out a lot. You know, get the sinking version and reel it really fast.
Okay. Yeah.
But
pretty legit.
No, that's great.
That's your mayonnaise.
Have you ever thrown the evergreen poplar, Brent?
I have not.
Shh, Ryan, don't talk about that.
What about that depths bait that comes with the prop on it? What's that thing called?
Buzz jet.
Yeah.
That's a bad dude. That's a bad dude.
That's a crazy bait right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you throw that thing out real far and kind of hold your rod tip up and get it chugging along.
Do you guys throw that, Ryan, Brent?
So which one is it again?
The
I throw the buzz jet.
The depths bait.
Buzz jetting it.
The depths buzz jet.
I have a few, yes.
Yeah.
I haven't done anything crazy with it, but I do have them to mess with them.
Man, it
Now, did you ever have
it
the
tumbles
smallies
a little
crush it,
bit when
Ryan?
it casts. You know what I mean? You can't. I don't like the bait from a castability perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's bulky.
I got this other super top secret topwater bait that probably none of you guys have ever heard of.
I bet we have.
Oh, lay it down, man.
Dude,
Lay down the wood.
It's
You got the
Johnny
hot
Rattler.
mic, Joe.
Dude, it's this
Johnny
bait.
Rattler.
It was designed by Larry Dolberg. I forget what they call it.
The Whopper Plopper?
You guys heard of that?
It's originally a muskie bait?
Yeah, that's it.
Has anybody thrown the supersized muskie Whopper Plopper like the giant?
No.
I threw 190.
But I know Ryan and Brent, you have to mess around with the plopper before, right? I'm sure you have.
You plop it like it's hot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a good buddy of mine, Marcus Sikora. He's an Ozarks guy, and he turned me on to those plopping style baits before they were cool. So
Go ahead.
I probably got maybe 2 seasons in Kentucky Lake with it before. I'm not going to say I was the only one with it, but it was not what it is today. And it was sick.
Yeah.
And I got to thank Brent because it trickles downhill, right? So after a year or 2 years, I found out about it, which it wasn't on the front edge, but I wasn't last.
Yeah.
But I found out from Brent and started catching some fish, but I didn't fully commit to it because, I mean, I spent a lot of time on Gunnersville whenever they're frogging. And it was really, I think I called Brent before going out there, and he said, just throw that thing, Ryan. And I did, and I think I finished 23rd or something on that plopper.
Dude, that plopper.
In the Ozarks. Yeah.
It
was cool, man.
The blade has died off of it.
Yeah.
Like
when that thing first came out, first it was the 190 and 110, I believe. No, maybe it was the 190 and 130. And we would throw the 130 for smallmouth. This is back in like 2013 probably. And you just get big old hammers. Like a 4-pounder down there is a big one. Flow. It was just the absolute best bait for guiding. I mean, it was foolproof. As long as the guys didn't hook each other with them, I mean, you could throw them all together, just crush it. And then I think it was 2015 or 2016, they came out with that little 90. And it was over the summer when the water was like, guys are catching fish just crazy. I mean, those fish just went bananas over it. But then back our way, there's a Facebook page called Fishing the Susquehanna. And some guys got on there and thought that they would be cool. Dude, there was like 8,000 members, and I remember it all going down.
Oh.
I just remember it all going down. Some guys got on there and started blabbing about catching fish on the Susquehanna on a whopper plopper. And then next thing I know, I'd be out doing guide trips, and you're looking around at the other boats, and all you see is this, freaking whopper plopper through the water. And
so do you feel like, Joe, like when the fish, do you feel like the fish get wise to it? And then like and then when you throw the next new bait, they like act like they've never seen it? Is that what it's become? They get conditioned?
Yeah, they're very, very educated to that bait. I mean, I don't even waste my time throwing it a whole lot anymore.
Really?
I mean,
but does anybody throw a buzz bait anymore?
Yeah, it seems like the buzz bait. Yeah, the buzz bait.
Throw a buzz bait.
Hell yeah!
Buzzbait turned back on, like a little squeaky buzzbait for small, where they and
I want somebody to bring back the squeaky dolphin, or somebody to engineer a buzzbait. Like I trick out my buzzbaits to make them squeal, so I don't have to throw it 1,500 times. And with the blades right on the edge of like breaking. But the Japanese have engineered 2 buzzbaits that I know about that they're still making, that have a squeal right out of the pack, because you can't find the squeaky dolphin anymore, right? And that was Andre's bait. Hey Ryan.
Yeah.
You know Andre.
Andre Moore, correct? Yes.
Can you ask him why doesn't he reintroduce the squeaky dolphin? People pay like $100 on eBay for that damn bait.
Because he likes him. He honestly, to answer for him, and I know him because I just asked him to make something. So he had exclusive classic colors, right?
Yep.
I'm wrecking them on one, and I'm about to run out. I said, Andre, we need more of those colors. He said, oh, sorry, that's a classic color. And I'm like one of the reaction dudes.
So he won't do it.
Yeah. No.
And he won't bring back the squeaky dolphin.
Dude, it's almost like some sick pleasure of making something exclusive for
that
him.
You can't get anymore. Wow.
But I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. But he's a genius. I mean, look at what he's done.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Right. Marketing, bro.
Raheem.
Make it famous.
Still,
like
on the topic of the Whopper Plopper.
The fucking Vixen. People went crazy for it. Now, and then Bub Tosh brought it back, right? Who's got it now?
It's still available. It's still available for reaction. They're just waiting on their shipment.
Yeah.
So on the topic of the Whopper Plopper, I feel like it's like every other bait now, but it still can shine bright like a diamond, right? But you got to find, do they want a 110? Do they want a 130? Do they want a 75? Dude, that 75 is a bad little dude.
That little short fatty dude, that thing pulls hard, dude. They wreck it, man.
It's fat, and listen to the sounds they make.
When did that come out?
And something,
is that about a year old?
2018.
Yeah.
A year or two now.
It has
2 years, Travis.
110. It has
I have yet to
get
get
Yeah, I have a couple of them.
It freaking catches them, man.
That doesn't mean anything, Travis.
It catches them, dude.
Dude.
They all sound different. Like that 90 is like this little finessey plopper, and then that 75 makes that bigger noise with that compact bait profile, man. They choke it.
Dude, I tell you what I do with it. I work it like a freaking prop bait with that 75. I go,
yeah.
And they'll crush it. Like in the grass, like I throw it in a hole and on Guntersville, they'll smash it.
They smash it. I like the chrome one, man. I've had really good success with a chromie. When the bay fish like the bay anchovies there on the Potomac, man. They whack it. Whack it.
Straight black for me.
Travis, you're just stuck in your ways, bro.
I love straight black. I mean, listen, when Brent talked about white, I'm into white. Obviously, I'm going to have white and black for the most part, maybe some bluegill patterns.
Yeah.
But for me personally, and I don't fish the Tennessee River like you guys. I don't fish in Florida, but in New York and clear bodies of water for smallmouth, man, it's straight black.
I know this. So the only experience I've had is on Champlain. It was last year. Mm-hmm. The only one they would bite was bone. And that was unanimous across the guys catching them on a spook.
Yeah, interesting.
Isn't that weird,
That's
man?
my throw up here.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And maybe it was that week. I don't know.
But here's the lesson. One guy wrecked him on bone, then everybody threw bone on the rod, and that's the only color they bite because that's the only fucking color anybody was throwing. Maybe.
I doubt it.
Funny how that works.
A lot of 20-pound bags were waiting on that bone spook the first 2 days.
That's because everybody's throwing black up there. They never saw it. I'm just
maybe. Although that's another good point. If they're all throwing black, but dude, I don't know. I think it's honestly the conditions that day, the week, that couple days, whatever the hour.
Look. I'm going to show a special bait. This is the Brent Anderson special pogo shad. It's bone, no paint required. Boys and girls, it's up for bid right now. Just kidding.
Oh shit.
Those are hard. Those are scarce, bro.
I'm gonna throw that.
Are we gonna start that right now, Eric?
I didn't even go put paint on it. This was going into the paint booth at Tacklecraft. I'm keeping this bitch, and I'm bringing it to Kentucky Lake. I'm gonna throw nothing but this goddamn bone pogo shad, and I'm gonna wear the no paint. It don't even have paint to wear off.
Right.
It's just gonna have bone hook rash. Crazy. I love it.
Around with different color, like white and black, like different times of the day, because I've kind of seen a little bit of a pattern with that.
So cloudy versus sunny. Does that hold true? Look, there's 5 guides on this screen, man. Is it like, bright sun, throw the white, darker day, throw the black? Is that true? No?
Not for me.
I believe black is better in low light. Like early in the morning, like if you're going to start off throwing a plopper early, I'll make it black, and then when the sun comes up.
The guy that's won 7 BFLs would throw bone.
Throws bone
at 6:00 a.m. no matter what, right?
Actually, I never threw top water until the sun got up, which was totally backwards as well from what you read.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, very true. I'll throw a buzzbait all day, dude. They eat it. I'll throw a frog all day. They'll eat it. It doesn't matter.
And there's a big difference between this and this.
Yeah, coming up to get it. Fair enough.
See, that was one of the big questions I used to get on Kentucky Lake is when that deal started. I didn't discover a bone spook bite in the fall on Kentucky Lake. I think that I discovered it started at a certain water level, not a certain water temperature.
Oh, interesting.
Correct.
So it did not matter how hot the water was.
That's right, Sean. I was born with that mustache, buddy.
A certain level, when the fish had 2 feet of water over their head, they would come up and get it.
Wow.
If that happened in mid-August, that's when I started catching them. If it happened in mid-September, that's when I started catching them.
Interesting.
Now,
Current flow dependent on that at all with that water level? Did you ever notice an increase or decrease? Okay.
They're fishing.
No,
that's cool.
Just the more vast the flat, shallow water, the more likely it would hold a bigger group of fish. So the skinny bars, I had these places I call onesie twosie places where I'd pull up and make 10 casts to try to get one bite. But when I found the big winning school, it would be in a 3 or 4 football field size flat of 2 foot of water.
Holy moly, man!
And if somewhere in that flat of 2 foot of water, it came up to 1.8. that was the spot.
Wow. So here's a couple questions from the stream. And I know this might be a little off topic, but maybe it relates to the spawn. Do you guys believe in moon cycle for fish?
No, thank you.
There you go. Great. So there's a no.
And he's a Florida guy now. I mean, and he's seeing them come up and spawn and all that. So
right.
I just got out of the boat with John Cox, and I talked to him for 3 hours about spawning in general, and especially in Florida. And he said that the moon is overrated.
Awesome. Great to hear.
It's more
great to hear.
But the moon can, if you get, like talking about planets aligning, like everything lining up perfect, if you get the water temperature right and a full moon at the same time, you're really going to have magic. But
that's the big wave everyone talks about.
Yeah, right on, man. Okay.
That's what John said. He said, man, it's a player, but it's not the factor.
No,
he said if everything's right and it's not a full moon, they're coming.
Sure.
And if everything's wrong, it's a full moon, they're not coming. But he was like, if you get the right conditions and the moon, then that's when you have.
Yes.
What was that 2001 Toho event where Rojas, shattered the record or whatever?
Wow.
Now for
go ahead, Travis. I got a question. People are asking. Go ahead.
In July, August, September, we'll typically move those fish ultra shallow in some inland bodies of water in the north.
Even if the water temperature is not right.
Well, that's just summer. They're not spawning. They're just up cruising. They're going to move shallow.
Oh yeah.
With a full moon.
Yeah.
Fish definitely react to a full moon. They feel it or whatever.
I feel what's funny is I feel like brim are more susceptible to the full moon than anything.
I feel like musky. All our musky activity is around the full moon.
Yeah,
like
big
fishing.
time.
You caught
big time here in the fall.
Wow.
In the fall, it was a full moon when I caught that one on that 6-pound test.
Yeah.
The muskie came up and he crushed my 5-pound smallie.
Yeah.
That was on the day before.
I don't know if you guys saw that. So you were fishing with Scott Martin, right?
Yeah.
And Vladimir.
Vladimir. Brian Latimer, yeah.
Vladimir.
And you guys hooked a smallmouth.
Well, I hooked a small. He was filming one of his episodes. He was fishing against John Cox and them. They were in the other boat, and he was fishing his Scott Martin challenge, and he was like 50 yards away from me, and he was talking to me, and so I casted my bait towards him, and bam, I hooked this. It was probably 5 1/4 pound smallmouth, and this fish starts jumping, and it's jumping, and Scott's like, "Why is this 5-pound smallmouth jumping like that? You normally don't see that." And then, like on the 4th jump, it went to come out of the water, and all of a sudden there's a just giant splash, and there it goes. This 50-plus pound muskie had my the smallmouth bass.
That's
right
crazy.
And it swam around. You can see it on his video. It swam around with the smallmouth in its mouth.
And they got it, right?
Yeah, we got it in the boat. And I didn't even.
What?
Yeah, I didn't even have the hook in the fish's mouth.
You just got the
smallmouth was jammed in its mouth.
Freaking crazy. That's crazy, man. It's like fishing around freshwater sharks. That's nuts.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So people want to know. So each guide sound off in rotation. Brent, we'll start with you. Day on the water. What's the guide trip fee?
day on the water.
Yeah.
Down here in Florida, it's exclusive private, so it's at right around $700.
Yeah.
But I do $450 on public water back home.
Fair. Okay, cool. Travis?
$575, 8 hours.
What about on Lake Gitchagumi, man? And if I want to go see the Edmund
We're
Fitzgerald?
in Chesapeake. I'm 470. I don't remember. 475.
Okay, Rock Crawler Joe, talk to me, Chief.
450 on the Susquehanna and 500 up here. Right.
Okay, Will,
Will
from Will, the founder of Gajo Baits at the world headquarters. What's your price?
I charge $250 per guy for the regular spots where we fish today, and then I charge $400 a guy for the premium spots. There's certain small areas, these hidden areas we go into, because I mean the biggest 6-hour day for me, I did 629 smallies in 6 hours.
Crazy.
That doesn't make any sense. That's craziness.
And they were all.
Did you say 600?
They were.
He
all
did say he
like
did not stutter. He did.
Yeah, they were all in 3.5 to 4 feet of water.
I just want to ask, how the hell did you freaking count 600 smallies? Did you have a clicker?
Clickers.
Yes, I do. I got stadium clickers in my boat.
We bring clickers up here.
I had 3 clients in my boat with me, and the 3 of them just kept going. And right now they hold the record. It was 47 consecutive smallies in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, for one guy went 47 in a row. And so I tell all my clients when they come up, new people, if you guys beat that record, the next trip's on me. I'll give you a free trip. And guys go crazy trying.
Cool. Crazy. You should have like the Gajo Cup, and let's engrave their name in it or something or like a wooden spirit shad on the wall, and somebody gets to sign it with the new record. I
have these little trophies, and here's the thing, and everybody shoots for these. It's called the DOD, the Dink of the Day. I got these little smallmouth trophy. It's a small smallmouth, little bass, only 1 inch big on a big trophy, and that's the trophy I give to the guy who catches the smallest smallmouth of the day. And the guys will come up with big and stuff like that. And, they go crazy trying to catch big ones. But for some reason, the past 5 years since I started that, all the guys want to come up and shoot for the little trophy. So they're trying to catch the littlest bass.
They're trying to catch the little fish, man. That's awesome. All right, Ryan, what's your cost per day for guiding down there in Bama?
Man, I just keep it stupid simple. It's 500 for the day, 600 for electronics, and then it goes down from there for hours. But the most popular is by far the 500. And then in the summer, I would say it's 75% electronics trips. And I think Brent might have a higher percentage of electronics trips even than that when he comes up in the summer to Pickwick and Kentucky Lake. But I was going to ask Brent, what do you think your consecutive casts in a row on a ledge would be with a client? Or
on
just
a ledge?
Yeah. Like when it was a heyday.
Yeah, I can't even answer. I know one day by myself in a high current situation, I caught over 300. I quit counting at 300 and that was off of 3 stops. So I caught 100 and left, 100 and left, and 100, and then I just kept catching them until they quit.
Wow.
But that was by myself. And they weren't giant. They were 16-inch fish, which at the time were tiny on Kentucky Lake. And
that's crazy.
These are all largemouth. No, I caught a few small.
There's a couple comments. So people, they want to know if they need to develop a workout program to prepare for their trip up there, like, muscle building.
That's
and then
that's the joke I tell all the guys. If they're going to make this their first trip, go to the Walmart and get those exercise bands. And for like 2 weeks every day, sit there and do like 200 hook sets with that one arm. Because all the new guys, and I tell people, hey, if you guys want references for this, the true story, everyone that comes up for the first time, their hook set and arm cramps. It cramps every trip. The guy, I'm sitting there, and the guy's all of a sudden like screaming in pain. I'm like, what's the matter? And his arms like cramped up like this. And
after 2 hours today.
Yeah.
My hands cramp up.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll happen to anyone. It happens to me. You ask Brent about. Oh my God!
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Nice.
That's what you're talking about.
That's it, dude. Deep cranking, like TXDs. You talking about catching them one after another, and even doubles. You'll be crippled up like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And we got a good question, guys. Several people are asking about electronics trips for Brent and I. and what deems more money for an electronics trip. I'll let Brent start with that since I've been talking more. Why would we charge more money for an electronics trip?
Well, I really don't. I just kind of have a standard fee, and we focus more on electronics, talk more about what we're doing as opposed to just pulling up and I say, there they are. But I think for guys, like you, you get a lot more in depth, and you spend a lot of time and money learning what you are teaching them. So that's why I think most guys charge a little bit more, because you're really getting into the nitty gritty about how to set them up and why this looks like that. And
and we're going in their boat. And obviously we're saving gas there, but you're paying for the knowledge and you're getting a greater value. And we all know greater value is greater cost for anything in life and service. And guys, you either you pay an extra $100, and I tell people you're at minimum going to cut 5 years off your learning curve, period. At least, if not more.
That's the reason I haven't advertised it as just a true electronics trip, is because I hate doing them so bad.
I was about to say, wait a minute, you're not fishing. I'm making $900 if I'm gonna have to sit there and not fish. Hell no.
Well, several of our friends have gone so high, they're trying to charge people out of get so high people don't want to do them,
and they still do it.
I had guys on Kentucky Lake. That's what ran me to Pickwick. We had 0 fish to look at on our electronics. It was all Asian carp, and I'm catching 30, 40 fish a day up to 7 pounds in shallow water. And guys are like, no, we would rather ride around for 8 hours and not see a bass than go catch fish shallow.
What? On a topwater bait.
So now I sell a fishing trip. I don't sell a customized trip anymore.
I see both sides to that for sure. I enjoy it. I really do. I don't know why. I'm sick in the head maybe, but I'm just ate up with electronics and finding them and the new technology. And I'm going to offer a new trip with just live sight technology and paint optics, because that is a whole thing in and of itself, like separate of anything, which you can do any time of year. And I do need to add that to my website. I feel like I'm proficient enough, and I've cashed enough checks in tournaments using that. It's a really, really good tool.
I have a question. This is a great question from Jamie Newton. He's a regular on the show. Ryan, would you do a virtual electronics training?
I would.
Think about it. Right now,
100%, I would.
Jamie, hit up Ryan, man, because I was talking to Travis about that. Like, COVID's got everybody down. It fucking sucks, right? You guys are guys. You're kind of stuck. And why not turn your off time into something productive? And people want to know the knowledge. They can go to a Bass University, right? They're paying for in-class instruction. You're on the water.
I think it's genius. I think it's a way to open up your target market even more. Just think about your pool of people potentially to go with you. We could probably lower the price just a hair because it's not in person, and potentially have more trips. So if you advertise it right.
Yeah, and do it off season. Holy shit.
Yeah, off season, right. But dude, what people mess up is they just say just ledge fishing what I teach. I literally teach like early season, mid season, late season being summer. I use my electronics to find structure more times than fish.
Yes,
and that's how I'm catching my fish. That's the misconception. So, if you want to go with me, we'll learn more about that. But that's a huge thing I teach.
Yeah, but to me, look, I'm a Bass U subscriber. I've hired guides to do on the day. I don't want to just go out and catch fish. I'm an angler that wants to up my game, and respecting the guide that has a rhythm of the water. So I'm not looking for a spot. I'm looking for, this is the day. It might be raining. It might be blowing 5 to 10. We've got a high out going. I've got a spring tide, where it's flood, because, the moon's at a right angle and I'm going to have 2 foot higher water. It's during the spawn. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. I've learned so much from those trips. That was so worth my money. Did it with John Cruz on Smith Mountain Lake, and I did it with Pete Gluzik. I've done it with some other guides and just love it, man. Become friends with them because of it. You know what I mean? And turn them on to some new baits while I was on the water. Because, I'm not a beginning angler. I'm certainly not an advanced angler from a tournament perspective. But it was fantastic, man.
But you get the game. You've had a lot of great experience with a lot of great fishermen, and that's why you're here. You got a great perspective on things, but it's funny you say the day, and ledge fishing is all about the day and then the current of that day, especially down here, and probably even on a tidal system. The current really dictates how they set up and what they want.
There's no question. I mean, fishing with Scooter that one day on a body of water that I thought was tidal. It is tidal, but it's wind-driven tidal. So he's playing the sun and the wind, and literally he predicted the day because he saw the weather. He knew what it was going to be, and everything he said before it happened became true. It blew my mind with a super limited selection of tackle. You talk about an eye-opener, man. It was extraordinary. And then going down to Guntersville with Matt Lee. I mean, watching him work his electronics, not making a cast until he saw what he wanted to see. You know, throwing finesse baits and then bringing out the big 6XD and then the Osprey. I caught the big fish of the day on a swim bait. And it was just like, whoa, it was unlike anything I'd ever done before. You know what I mean? But a lot of looking and not a lot of fish. And I'm like, I thought for a second, I'm like, is he fucking practicing for a tournament? Because I'm like, why are we fishing, man? I'm like, he just didn't see what he wanted to see on those ledges, right?
If it doesn't look right, yeah. Brent's selling himself short, guys. I'm telling you, this dude is the best side scan electronics dude I've ever met, like for real. So he may hate it. It's maybe probably because he was the first one to get on it, and he's done more trips than any of us combined. But if you just hop in the boat with him this summer, and that's coming from a dude who does a lot of electronic trips himself. Like, I would value my time spent with him just to learn something.
I mean, it's like next level stuff. So to me, you know, I mean, I would geek out on just bait talk, right? Because, you know, I want to learn, and I've seen some finesse tactics that just, you know, changed my game. Travis, I'm tipping my hat to Travis. He opened my eyes to several things. So, you know, and I think I've opened his to a few things here. And that's what it's all about, man. It's learning that next level stuff, getting that rhythm, seeing things that you just never saw before, you know, whether it's dumbing down your bait selection as a co-angler on the back of the boat, right? Finding your groove as a pro, right? It's just fascinating. There's 5 guides on the screen right here, man. And anybody that spend that amount of time on the water, you guys out there watching tonight, man, you better fire up the question board, because that's some serious knowledge right there.
Brent,
these guys make it happen for a living.
You keep saying that. I would love to hear, because, dude, we're spread out across the country. You guys are up there. I'm like kind of like mid-south, and you're kind of like south, Brent. I'll go around all 5 guys, say like one the best bait right now, like in your region.
Oh, that's a great question.
I guess we'll start with Brent because he's the guest of the night. Go ahead, Brent. There you go. Okay. I think mine, there's a lot of baits you can use, but the most versatile is for sure like a 1/2 ounce chatterbait.
Time out. I just need to ask Brent, what are the fish doing? They're clearly, they've spawned, some of them obviously, right? And they're post-spawn, so that's post-spawn for you?
Yeah, we're probably 75% post.
Okay, thanks. That helps me, Ryan. Sorry, I just want to understand.
You're fine. So he's probably on a shad spawn. We're on the front, like, dude, early, like, scratching the surface of a shad spawn. But you can catch those post spawn, like those bluegill eaters and everything with that chatterbait right now, whether you're swimming it through the primrose or milfoil or eelgrass.
Chatterbait, so, half ounce, baby?
We're a little stained, so my best, it was white when it was clear, but now chartreuse and white, 1/2 ounce jackhammer with a little dipper on the back, white trash.
Man, that's money info. All right, Travis.
Yeah, so on the Chesapeake, we're about 2 to 3 weeks away from full spawn. It's mostly pre-spawn right now. Up here on the river, we are low 40s.
Yeah, low 40s.
So we're another month or 2 away from spawn. DT6, Red Craw.
One of my favorites.
What about you? Now Joe's on the Susquehanna, so he's not a northern smallmouth. He's more what do you call it, central PA? I don't know what you call it.
North central.
It's a whole different thing because it's a shallow, rocky river system. It's not what most people are used to seeing. You know, most of the time we're fishing in 3 feet of water or less. This is a topic. You know, what's your favorite way to catch them, or what's the most productive way to catch them? I guess you're talking the most productive way to catch them.
Yeah.
For guiding.
Yeah, the best bait right now.
Yeah, I mean, throwing a Ned rig or a swim bait, either one of those, for clients, it's just a money bait, either one of them.
Stick that up there, Travis. That's my prototype that's killing it up here. You gotta stick it right up to the camera. That's the prototype Gajo Ned. Slide it closer. You gotta slide closer so they can see it.
Trying.
Ribs.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's hot.
Here's the number one. Here, let me show you.
Will's gonna get the number one.
I mean, the Ned rig.
You got a lot of shite here. A lot of shit.
The Ned rig just flat out rips freaking small.
Oh yes.
These are the number ones in the whole North Country.
We love them.
The whole Northeast.
Oh my God, that's so cool. What the hell?
That's a 80s bush.
Love it.
Oh my God! Look at that blue sheen. That blue fairy dust. Rock crawler Joe, man. He's like a hairband from the '80s, man.
Yeah.
Spear shad in Northeast.
Spear shad. A spinnerbait is probably my most favorite way to catch them, though. When they're crushing a spinnerbait in the river. I mean, topwater's fun, but I hate treble hooks. I call them trouble hooks.
With clients.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, dude, even when I'm out, like, it's crazy what goes on up here on the rivers with spinnerbaits. When you're whacking one right after another and they just poof, pound it.
I meim I'm a big swim bait guy, and that's a similar bite. It's a straight shank hook, right?
Yeah, it's easy to deal with them, and they just. I mean, a swim bait is going to catch more fish. You fish them the same way, you know what I mean? You just kind of roll it along. A swim bait's going to catch more fish, but if you get around uneducated fish, if you can catch fish on a spinner bait the way you can catch them on a swim bait, like where you're used to fishing, it's ridiculous. And that's kind of what we stumbled onto up here last year, where they just catch one right after another on blades.
Man, I feel like that is like the best segue ever that we could ever have, because Brent designed his own swim bait, and I don't think we've talked about it yet. No. And it is the BA spinner with true bass, and it has had a lot of names. I'm going to start out Frankenspin, then it was Elvis, and now I think it's the BA spinner. But this is a basically 5-armed spinner bait, and I don't know if you guys would like to try some of these up north. But yeah, man, it's really, really cool. I'll let Brent talk about it a little bit, man. But it's a new bait for us at True Bass.
Yeah, it's smallmouth definitely like it. I've caught them on Del Hollow with it. I have not tried it up north, but I should say that smallmouth hate it because they do bad things to it. But I'd like to see you guys, send you guys a few and see what y'all think about them up there.
Yeah, definitely. So what's the smallest size that comes in? 1 ounce?
Right. Well, I'll start, Ryan, with that. Right now it's 1.25 ounces. And to most people that's going to sound huge, but before me and my buddy Mike designed that bait, I threw a regular spinner bait out deep a lot. By deep, I mean 12 to 25 foot. And I liked a 3/4 ounce spinner bait. So when we started tinkering with that, we that bait with all of those wires on a 3/4 ounce head fishes like a 3/8 ounce bait as far as the fall rate and everything. Yeah. So we kept bumping it up until I wanted it to fall and fish like a 3/4, and that's what we ended up with. But Ryan, I believe we have plans in the near future for.
Yes. And we would probably be like on the fringe of getting the first ones, but coronavirus has stopped our production in a few places where we're getting things made. So the goal is to have a 3/4, which would fish more like a half to like, somewhere in that 3/8 range. And then maybe even try like something smaller down the road. But at least like the next step is the 3/4 and then go from there. But definitely some cool things. And there's even some spin-offs of that bait that we have that we won't let out yet, but it's going to be cool.
What's the setup for the Frankie 5-finger BA spinner bait? I mean, you throwing that thing on a big old pool cue flipping stick or something? I mean, that's a lot of meat.
I always threw it on a flipping stick. Now that I'm with the Redemption Rods guys, I use their 7.6 flipping stick and 20. You could probably get by with 17. I use 20-pound Cigar and Biz-X.
Right on. I
liked a medium heavy fast, so 7.6 medium heavy fast. So I don't know why it worked for me.
Okay.
That's the biggest thing with it is like where I typically fish it. I've found from guide clients it's a lot more versatile. I've had guys flip it in bushes. I've had guys, throw it at shallow. Yes, time out.
Flip it in bushes.
Yes, I have got one guide client, Eric Pate, and he'll kill me for telling his story, letting his cat out of the bag. But I took him on. I took him on a trip.
Go ahead.
He went with another guide on Kentucky Lake, and it was March, but we had a flood, so it got to summer pool, and the cover was underwater. And he said, "Man, I put it on my guide with Frankie the other day," and I'm like, "Aren't you guys flipping?" And he's like, "Yeah, dude, they're eating it up." and at one time, there were a few half-ounce like prototypes that had trickled out on the market. And but I did not like them. They spin really bad. Like you have to fish it so slow. It fishes like a 1/8 ounce bait with all the arms and stuff on it. But anyways, I ended up getting Eric on a trip in late April when we're supposed to be flipping bushes, and he brings the 1.25 ounce, and this cat did work with that thing that day.
That's cray, man. Flipping a freaking bush. I mean,
they don't see it, right? I
mean, that's the point, man. It's like who would flip that crazy thing in the bush?
I never did.
Right.
I mean, I used it very spare. It was for, like I say, 12 plus foot. But I have fished it as deep as 30 foot, and to get that bait 30 foot deep, you have to make an extremely long cast. Yeah, and by the time you put a big honking trailer on it, I mean, it's a load. So I've always thrown it on a big heavy rod.
That makes sense. Wow, that's pretty cool. Was he flipping it on braid in the bushes, or was he flipping on 20-pound and just?
I think he was using 25-pound fluoro. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah,
it was several years ago, but I know I was impressed. And he didn't go to the heart of the bush like.
No, of course. Like around the edges and all that.
But I mean, he would pitch it up there tight, and
but them jokers are coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, cranking it 3 times, and he's bowed up.
Oh.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Question. Okay. That's good. I like how we're raising hands.
I like that. This is good with all the people we have. Timeout raiser in. So there's a lot of questions coming in about the trailer, and there's discussion coming in. Brent turned me onto this certain trailer, and we actually have this specific trailer for sale along with it on True Bass. It's like a 6-inch scrub trailer?
Yeah.
So we have the 6-inch scrub trailer on True Bass. Go ahead, Brent.
Yeah, it's a 6-inch swirltail grub. They're hard to find. You find them most of the time in a saltwater tackle sections, and but I ended up having a bunch made up and for myself, and
they sell a lot of those up here, Brent. By the way, if you ever run out and you need them, because there's a bunch of rockfish guys up here with the Chesapeake Bay system. That is a saltwater trailer. I got and they make it in some cool colors too. But not that you need it, but.
Yeah, I threw white and pearl most of the time, and sometimes like a pearl truce. But
I thought you'd be throwing bone personally, but
pearl, man.
Yes, they eat that motherfucker, man.
I'm telling you guys, this thing is so legit, and I have to tell the story every time Brent's on with me. Brent gave me one of these at Kentucky like 3 years ago now. And without him, dude, that morning he gave me this, and I always threw it before I left my schools on Kentucky. And I finished 23rd on that event with this because of this bait. I mean, I caught a 3 3/4 pounder every day on that bait.
Dang, that's good, right?
Which this is like post Asian carp Kentucky like it was a good fish.
Hey, somebody asked the question. I mean, is Kentucky ever going to come back? I mean, what are they doing about the Asian carp? You guys got to be just like dying.
Man, I kind of quit. I've been fighting that fight since 2009, and I finally just kind of get. I honestly don't really follow it anymore because we were going backwards with the biologist and everything. And
are you serious?
I have. Yeah, I mean, they didn't really want to listen to the fishermen.
What?
I mean, that's a whole nother show. But
biologists never do. They never do.
For sure.
The last I've heard that they're closing off certain bays and creeks on the lake, and they're corralling the carp in there with like underwater sound,
Oh wow!
And then they're taking these boats and seining the entire bay.
Like
And up
Hall
here, they're
Saint
not.
in the whole bay.
Yeah.
Is it like Bycatch City where lots of shit's dying, ripping up grass, killing it?
Well, we don't have any grass. And honestly, there's not much in the lake, like game fish wise, sport fish wise, that they could kill.
Because the Asian carp had just devastated it.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, which my opinion is worth little, but I will always believe the fishing pressure is what killed the lake, because it got so good and everybody was so adept at catching them post spawn, really deep. Every tournament wanted to come there. All the big championships were coming there. All the big trails were coming there. And man, we just beat those fish to death. But, theoretically, the spawn should be coming back, to replace what we were taking out. And that's where the carp became a problem, because they eat the same thing that all the fish fry eat.
Wow.
They're
plankton feeders, right? Yeah. That's unbelievable, man.
And 95% of the biomass of Kentucky Lake was Asian carp. So,
and biomass is a big thing too, man. But like you said, this is a whole different show. But
crazy, man. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be a buzzkill, bro. Sorry.
There's some good questions for the northern guys. The Gajo Spirit Shed boys. What's your favorite spinnerbait for the smallmouth?
Nice.
It would be a combination of like a 3.5 willow and a 4 willow, 3/8 ounce. I've been screwing around with making my own with like a tunable titanium wire. Z-Man was supposed to come out with that spinnerbait this year, but I don't know if they're going to with this whole coronavirus thing. It's a tunable titanium, kind of like I think the Stanley wedge used to be made out of it. It's very similar to that, where I think it's like 40 thousandths in the R bend, and then it tapers out to 28 thousandths in the end of the wire.
Yeah.
And
that's the wedge.
Basically, kind of bringing that back. That, I mean, it just they pull through the water so nice that you can wake them, you can slow roll them. I mean, that's pretty much my go-to, like 3/8 ounce, 3.5 willow and a 4 willow. When the water gets a little dirtier, then upsize the blades, maybe double 4s or 4, 4.5, and go up to ½ ounce, 3/4.
So Will, or Eric, real quick, we got a couple baits here you do not have in front of us. Will, you want to explain what the heck?
But I got these baits for you. These 4 baits are for you.
They're going to Eric's.
Yeah, these are for
what?
I don't know anything about them.
I designed these baits in '97 for a company up here. We sold in Bass Pro Shops.
The Warrior one with the metal lip. We talked about this.
Yes, here it is. Here's the one I'm talking about.
This is so cool. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
That's awesome, dude. I can't wait to check that
little
thing. Dude,
Look at that.
the concept,
I'm going to crank that down on some riprap and go to work.
Yeah, the concept that I had for this is if you want to run it shallow.
This is cool, guys.
Bend the lip.
What?
You can run it shallow in a wake bait. You want to run down to 6-8 feet. You straighten it right out like that, and she'll run down to 6-8 feet.
Dude,
wow!
I had
two baits in one. 2 baits in one.
Yes, I had 2 different sizes. I had one with a bigger bell. This one would cover 1 to, say, like, depending on the size line, stuff like that. This one would cover 1 to 8, and the other one would go 10 to 16. And when we bring these out,
made out of cedar, right?
Yeah, these are
cedar,
Algonquin cedar. It's all hand painted.
Who's cedar?
Algonquin
babies.
It's from the reservation.
It's got the spirit
reservation
of the
up
Algonquin
north,
tribe
Travis.
in that
The Algonquin reservation up north is where I got all the cedar for it. And then this,
that's so cool.
This is my version of the popar. It's got that little scooped out head.
That's like a shovel nose, man.
Does it go down?
When you pop it, you can actually throw this and it'll swim under the surface about a foot if you crank it. But when you pop it, it sits on top like this. So when you pop it, it goes down like this in the water. It makes a big bloop, bloop, bloop noise. But you can crank it and it'll run underneath the water like this. And I've actually thrown this in thick weeds like reeds, pencil reeds, and it swims through and it hits the pencil reeds and it'll actually bounce off sideways and swim it through reeds if you go through carefully. And And then this is
Brent, that's kind of your colors you like right now.
Yeah, man.
This is
love
my
short
killer
shirts.
on Oneida Lake right here.
Oh, the double prop. Dude, that looks like the old little. That's small. I like that. Hold on.
Double prop.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that looks like the Bagley rat, man. The rat thing.
Nasty.
And then this was my jerkbait, the same version of the crank.
Maybe.
Dude, with the metal lip.
Further on it.
The smallmouth and largemouth tear this up. Tear it up.
Oh, perch color.
Yeah.
Oh, man, the small
Well,
guys
I'd use
are
it.
like,
I'd
what's
use it
up?
like a top water, and I can throw it off. The other thing about this bait, if you wanted to make a a wake bait, you just unscrew those little screws right there, and it turns into like a Zara spook. It'll walk back and forth on top of the water like a Zara.
Great.
That's crazy, man.
It's a
Crazy.
Swiss Army lure.
We're sending them
Will,
down
man,
here.
thanks for showing that, man. Dude,
Those
I
are
can't
for
wait
you
to
when you
crank
come
that
up. I
metal
have
lip
those
one
for you,
on like
Eric,
some
when you come
riprap. Hopefully I don't lose it first cast. And just have that metal blade going tink, 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 tink. Man, that's going to sound different.
That blade doesn't chip when you run it across rocks, and all the plastic bills will chip up and everything. That blade just digs in and makes that tinging, a louder tinging noise.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's like the old mud bug blade, man. Tink,
Yeah.
tink, 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 tink.
Yeah, the small.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do a
tear it
show
up.
where we throw a bunch of old vintage baits, man. Nothing but vintage baits.
Yeah.
Well, Travis and I were gonna try to go out with them like them old codger nylon line and the reels. I don't even think I could cast it, man, but it would be fun.
said
And
you
I'd
put a
have
bunch of
to.
those
We'd have
old
to long
pots.
line every cast. Like Travis,
When
put
you
your
come
bait in
up-
the water, long line it.
When you come up, Eric, I'm going to take you to this guy's garage, and he's probably like 79 years old, 80 years old, has this garage sale all the time, but he collects all that old fishing stuff. He's literally in the ceiling of his garage, has probably 2,000 old reels and rods and baits hanging everywhere from like the turn of the century on.
Why don't we go there?
Dude, that'll be me in 30 years if I'm alive.
You want to go there tomorrow and see?
Yeah, before Eric gets there.
He always has his garage sales on the weekends. His garage is always open. He sells all kinds of stuff. You go to there, and he loves to show everybody his fishing shit. He just loves it.
So cool.
He's like you in 50 years, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Eric,
If I'm alive.
10 years.
You'll be good. Oh
No, Travis.
Grant,
I got 7 spawns left, man. I got 7 spawns left, dude. And I just burnt one with this goddamn virus, man. I'll have 6 spawns after this year. I got to get busy with the YOLO.
You got at least.
Oh, Brent, we're gonna do the YOLO Bass Tour, man. We're coming down to see you in Florida. I got a little concept going on, man, and everybody out there that's watching, I know they want to see it. I'm naming it the YOLO Bass Tour. We're gonna promote it. We're gonna film it, and we're gonna launch it. We're going to legendary lakes, man. So we got to do the YOLO Bass Tour.
Man.
Yeah, man. You only live once Bass Tour, bro.
One question I got for you guys. One question. Hog Collar made this worm that had a square head on it. What was that worm? I used like 3 packs. I used like 3 packs before.
Hog collar.
And I mean,
Hog
I
collar?
killed the bass on this worm, and I've been looking for it. And I know they don't make it anymore. I've been trying to find like mom and pop stores that used to carry it. But it had a square head, like the first 4 inches of the worm had like a square head on it. The body was square.
Hog Collar, like the company that makes the spinnerbait?
Yeah, they made a worm, and I think I only got like 3 left
What?
in the bag if I can dig them out. It was crazy, this
know.
worm.
No clue here.
The
I
action
can't
on the
believe you
worm.
stumped Eric.
The action on the worm when you threw it out there was just unbelievable. I would just throw it just the worm with a hook in it and throw it for largemouth, and those largies would go nuts over it just because of the action of the worm going through the water.
It would kind of like hunt.
Yeah, you're twitching it like this, and it would come through the water like crazy, and the largemouth would just destroy it.
Do these guys know,
What?
back to spinnerbaits and wire, did the patent run out for the night null? For Terminator?
Terminator. What happened?
Did Terminator's patent run out for night null wire?
Oh no, dude, you're getting real technical, man. What the hell is that? You're talking about the titanium bendable stainless steel? I don't even know what that means, man.
All right, never mind.
Sorry.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Well, guys, I think Brent may or may not have a trip tomorrow. I think they got a fish.
Oh, yeah.
What is it, 10:30?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got
I hate to bounce on you guys. I really appreciate you having me. And
Oh man, Brent, thanks a lot, man. Loved it.
I'd like to come back sometime, man, when I don't have to get up early.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this will go like till 1 o'clock maybe.
Well, I gotta tell
That's
you guys,
usually that's my style.
anytime you guys want to come up here, anytime you guys want to come up, we can all get together in
Man.
one big trip. You guys come up in May, and we'll just whack on Smallies all day long and have at it.
I would love to do that. Austin.
We'll go live.
That's a
We'll
YOLO
go
Bass
live
Trail
all
trip.
of us.
I hate catching smallmouth, 600 smallmouth, man.
Hey, Brent,
But I'll come.
Brett, before you go, man, have you ever seen a June bug crankbait? That's Sally Hansen nail polish, bro. That's an old
Brent.
Excalibur 1.5, man. Come on. You know you
He shows it to everybody, Brent. He shows it to everybody.
Down there, it's my patented color, man.
It's
People
got
are
to come out
asking
every
for it.
show.
I'm all about nail polish and Krylon, dude, to paint my baits. So
Hey,
I love it.
Hey,
I love it.
we're gonna have the BA series on True Bass where it's just hard baits and shit. It lists the shittiest like hand painted crankbaits you've ever seen. Well, dude, thanks for coming on, Brent. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you guys for having me so much, man.
Yeah, nope.
Man.
Thank you. We love it.
Y'all try not to get too wild tonight, all right, guys?
We won't,
No,
man.
no,
we
we're
won't.
gonna close her down here pretty soon.
All right,
Nice.
dude, y'all take care, man. Thanks a
All
lot.
All right, thanks,
We'll
Brent.
see ya.
Take
See
care,
you,
man.
Brent.
Sidelines,
See you
brother.
guys.
Later. So wait. Well, guys, we have a bunch of shit to do too.
Yeah.
You got a swim bait you want to show off there?
Yeah, Ryan, there was a question a few shows ago. There was a guy asking you if Smallies bit big swim baits, like 6-inch and stuff like that. And I don't know if the guy, but I was gonna comment and say this is my 6-inch swim bait, the Gajo swim shell.
Okay.
And yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes,
Look at
they
that
do.
thing.
They do.
Yeah, baby.
It's pretty, man.
The Smallies
Let me
do
get
tear
some
up
of that.
big swim baits.
I drop shot that bitch.
Yeah, Travis.
Oh, dude, I put it on jig head and let it fly.
There you
Yeah,
go.
look at that one.
Wiggle it around.
I hear they like black swim baits up there.
Yeah, they do. So yes, they do. The Smallies up here do tear up big swim baits.
All right, we're saving these
That's-
for Eric.
Man,
Yeah, these are for Eric.
These Waupun baits.
Wampum baits.
Oh.
I think I'm gonna scoot out of here too.
Yeah, it's cold, guys. You don't realize we're in the shop, but we'll turn the heat off so we don't have any background noise.
Get down to
Oh,
like
It's
man.
22 degrees tonight.
that's cold, boys. Dang.
Well, he told me.
That's what I had to do.
Look at that, man.
He told
This
me
is
he
the God
needed
Joe
ice for
sexy
his
show.
drinks. He's like, "Yo, dude, man, I need some ice for my drink." I said, "We don't have ice. Don't worry." I shut the heat off. It's 20 degrees outside. It'll stay cold.
But them smallies will bite tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
man.
man. Well, it was cool seeing you guys on here, though, man. It's always cool to put the face with the name. And
Gajo Worldwide Headquarters, man. Unbelievable, man. What a
We're at it.
show.
We're at it. We're gonna make it happen.
all right, we'll see you. I'm moving.
That's
Okay,
not how we
guys.
end. You sit your ass there until I say goodbye.
Well, I was gonna move. And
Hey, guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Leave any likes and comments below. Is that how we do it? Oh, that's...
oh, now he's voluntary.
Yeah.
Wow. Listen. All right.
That
Yeah,
was
we
just
learned a lot from Brent.
natural reaction.
Eric, Ryan, thank you again.
Assume the position.
Hey, Travis, at least give a shout out to Joe Raymond. How do you follow him on Instagram, man?
Oh, yeah, Joe Raymond at joeraymond.com. And we got Will at... No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
JoeRaymond.com.
I have a website. Susquehanna Smallmouth Guy on Instagram.
AL Bass Guide _ meme lord, whatever.
You'll find
Mimi,
us.
how much you say meme? Mimi.
They all know who we are.
Me. Just Google me.
Gajo Baits. You guys know Gajo Baits.
Google my ass.
Just Google.
Don't type it in my ass on Google. Just say it.
No.
That's a nickname.
Our next live show, we were going to go this weekend, but I think I got to talk to Eric. This feed was a little lagging tonight. It was painful on my end. But
It looks good to me.
yeah, we'll see. Hopefully next week, Tuesday. Tuesday for sure. We might jump in Sunday. Rumor has it Eric's going to be heading up here tomorrow. To do
Yeah,
some
he's
fishing.
he's on his way.
I don't know.
Eric, they found
Guys,
a
We're
cure.
going live.
we're
We're going
2 hours
live
in.
Friday and
Well,
Saturday from the water, though.
They found a cure for the coronavirus.
Travis, they say you got a week stream tonight, and congratulations on catching the dink of the day. Do you get your trophy yet?
I
The
did,
DOD.
I did. Make sure you say that.
Dude, I want one of those trophies. I'm coming, dude.
Me too, man. I'm totally fishing for that
Eric,
thing, dude.
Dude, you gave me ideas. So I'll end with this. I have had the idea for years. I always call someone Mr. Hangy. And I was going to make a pink T-shirt that says Mr. Hangy, and I give him a pink T-shirt that says Mr. Hangy because it's the person that gets hung up the most.
There you go.
Oh man. All right, guys.
Great.
Okay, what was he gonna say, Joe?
Oh, Eric, did you hear about the cure to the coronavirus?
Talk to me, Chief. What is it?
All you got to do
super
is turn
chat.
off the news.
I got to just pull up the news. I'll pull up the news. All right, I'll do
Turn
it.
off the news.
That's
Oh,
the cure for
off
the
the
coronavirus
news.
is turn off the news.
Oh, I don't look at the news.
Oh, yes, turn off the news.
Yeah.
So that's why I did. That's why I didn't know it.
Yeah.
You follow me because I don't watch the news.
I know.
I don't either.
You heard the joke about it, right?
No,
About the coronavirus?
What?
You probably won't.
no.
get it.
Tell us.
You probably won't get it.
I get it. I got it right out of the gate.
All right, guys.
That was good.
I don't even know how to end this one. It was a good show. I just wish we had better service here at the Gajo World headquarters.
It's
but-
good enough.
I know Brent will come back on for sure.
We need to get him on when it's more clear, see some of the baits. I couldn't see any of the shit. I don't know about you guys. I had a hard
I
time.
saw him perfect, man.
No, not on this end.
The lighting was bad on his end, I think, too.
Yeah, it seemed really dark.
He needed a
Yeah, he
light,
needs a ring light.
a floodlight.
Yeah, well, not
We'll
everyone can
send
do a
you a ring light.
Yeah.
Yeah, Travis, when you get guests on, you got to send them a kind of a show requirement.
Okay.
Your head's got to be level with the screen. It's all part of the standing operating procedures of smallmouth crush.
I got
This is
so
a guest
easy.
prep guide. It's a checklist.
Are we going
You
live
know what I
tomorrow
mean?
from
So
the water?
if you want a good show,
Yeah.
Travis, it's kind of on you,
All
not
right.
on them.
We will be going live from the water tomorrow on my YouTube. Excuse me, and
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Where's the live stream from in New York?
Was there a bet today? As I was commentating the chat room, people were asking.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
He's frozen.
Probably
froze,
getting
Eric.
cold in here, honestly.
What was your question, Eric?
The question was there a people kept asking, did you guys have a bet going? You and Joe, who would catch the most smallmouth or
No.
biggest or
We were just having
okay.
No,
Well, Joe won that one.
I got
we made a
Well, I
video.
know this.
We made a video about dead sticking a Ned rig today because that's what you had to do because it got so cold last night.
got it.
But tomorrow,
Well, Joe, I saw on your Instagram, they were so big you couldn't boat flip them.
Yeah.
That
Both of them.
was pretty funny.
Did I
It was.
put that up?
Yeah, someone snapped the rod too.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Travis. I mean, you are Gajo Baits headquarters, world headquarters.
yeah.
And so the fans are asking about a Gajo discount, smallmouth crush.
Well, we're gonna have Will on talking about his lineup of baits in the future, where I'm sure we'll put together some type of package for you guys because we want to break. That's a whole different episode.
In the future.
Yes, for sure.
And we
I mean,
will be
Jesus,
having
Will, what do you got to do?
we will be having an auction again soon, and I was hoping to have it here live. Hold on.
Will's got so
Uh-oh.
much stuff.
Did somebody say auction?
Oh shit.
Eric, did you watch that whole live feed of us out there? Where they really started
So
fighting
when
like
Will,
crazy?
when Will,
Did you
when
see
when
the
I
end?
got connected with Will, that was the first time I saw the feed. I didn't know you guys were live,
Oh, all right.
so I didn't see the beginning.
No, did you see the end?
but I was.
I mean,
And hey guys, listen. I guess Will's doing.
Oh,
an
I saw
auction.
the end.
yeah, the end where it was like we were pounding on.
Will's got 2 bags. He's gonna auction off. And just so you know, you're not going through me. You contact Will at his website and everything. I'm not the middleman.
These
No,
are
everybody contact Travis.
No, I don't give a.
these are 500 count bags.
Wow.
These are the swim baits. These are 200 swim baits, and we're gonna be auctioning off. I got 25 bags of baits
No.
of colors that we're gonna auction off.
When are we doing that?
I'm getting in on that.
Yeah, maybe we'll do it Saturday. Who knows if we can go live? We'll
Saturday.
try
All
it.
right. All right.
Well,
All right.
yeah, those fish are too big to boat flip, though. We found that out today.
I noticed. I was like, God dang, you keep trying to pull and that drag wouldn't come.
Yeah, they bounce off the side of the boat. Can't get them up.
I know it.
Oh my God.
Biggins.
Biggins and
I'd like to see you guys fish the MLF rules. No carpet dragging.
Okay.
No boat banging.
we'd be in
Yeah,
the
that would be pretty funny.
How many are you gonna break off when you catch the line?
Yep.
All right.
Shady Banks wants to know how much for the double prop bait. That's coming my way.
Yeah.
Not for sale.
I know where it lives.
Uh-oh.
I'm in the process of talking
right.
to the owner that had the company. The owner passed away.
You can move over.
The owner passed away, and his grandkids have everything: the machines to make the baits, the paint, all that stuff. So, I'm in the process of talking to them about possibly buying all the old equipment to start the baits back up again.
Nice.
So
Very cool. Very
those might
cool.
be coming out in the
You are Will, you're a business machine, bro. That's all I know.
Out of here.
Yeah, I'm shaking. My breath. I can see my
See
breath.
you guys. Hey, nice chatting.
Oh,
It was
okay.
Maybe
Shut it down, Travis.
Joe.
Shut
Maybe
it
we'll do
down.
it again
And until
sometime.
next time, we'll see
See you on the
you on
water.
the
We'll see
water.
you guys Tuesday for sure, if not sooner. Later.
Take care.
Oh, what's Ryan doing?